Hold on. All right, guys, we are live. Hey, what's going on, everybody? And it's Friday night. You know what that must mean? It's time for the MURF and EDUBBS show. EDUBBS, what's going on, my friend? How you doing tonight?
Hey, what's up, Rich? How you doing? As you can see, I have a little title under my name today.
You're a sports talk podcaster. I love it, dude. I love it. All right.
I was going to put vice president of sports talk podcasting, but not quite there yet, I don't think. Almost.
You're there. You're there.
You
I
think so,
you
Rich?
yourself a vice president.
There we go. Okay, great. You give me a raise there too, huh?
You're VP of operations.
VP of operations, human resources, right? Everything in between, right?
Exactly. Because I can't handle none of that. I can just be funny I can just be funny. You got to handle everything else.
Although, you know, I kind of listened to a little bit of your was it political one you did a couple of weeks ago?
Yes.
We the People. Yeah. And you know, Rich, I couldn't be on that show, you know, so sorry.
No, you know what? Listen, I'm not going to talk about it a lot, but that's how I feel, dude. I know we don't want to talk about politics, but whether you want to vote for Donald Trump or not, America is being forced to vote for Donald Trump this year. That's the reason why he's going to win. Like I said, do I like him? I'm not saying I like the guy, but you know what, though? What are we going to we're going to vote for the guy I saw giving a State of the Union address last night that didn't know his ass from his elbow? It's embarrassing right now, the state of affairs in America right now, dude. And like I said, the alternative is you got to vote for Donald Trump. You need a tough guy in there right now. And if you got, you know what, you got to take away, you got to take the goods with the bads on both sides. Yep. And I think that the good part about them being president is the fact that we need a strong guy running the country right now. And we'll take, at this point in time, I'll take the setbacks.
Rich, I'll vote for Pete Rose. How's that?
That's fine, man. Vote for anybody else but what's going on in the White House right now, because our country is in trouble right now, dude.
Let's have LeBron go against Pete Rose in the election. How's that?
I will vote for anybody if they're not attached to Joe Biden. I will literally I'll vote for anybody who's not attached to him, because it's embarrassing, dude. I know. Listen, you started. You got me going, dude. Come on, man.
Listen, okay, how about
anybody's listening?
Pete Alonso just listening,
go to Keep Talking 365 at YouTube. I do about an hour rant on how this country is in absolute trouble right now. So,
well, Rich,
I won't do it right now because it's a sports show.
Yeah, we're going to be speaking for 8 hours next weekend. Why don't we fill everyone in? I mean, there's politics, and then there's our 8-hour diversion from politics, actually, at the Fishkill Rec. We'll be talking, we'll be announcing 6 beautiful, I should say, amazing basketball games next weekend, starting with 2 girls games, ending with 4 boys games, 8 hours of live coverage. We did it last April or March, whatever. It was a hoot. And actually, we're going to do something next Friday night. We're going to interview the kids before the games, because we never get to interview the losing teams, Rich. We only get to interview the winning teams and the award winners. I mean, you could be on an 09 team, win an award for Defensive Player of the Year, and, you know, you're going to come to us? No, you're going to go home, you know, because you're not the champion. So we're going to kind of do things a little different next Friday night. And our friend Peter Skorwitz from Video Ventures Limited will be involved. Jay will be involved. All the kids that work for Jay, the staff at the rec will be involved. It's going to be one fun-filled day, Rich. So I'm really looking forward to it. I'm really looking forward to working with you again, because in the summer you couldn't make it. I had to do it solo, and I had like no voice at the end of the day.
Listen, I could go and go. You know that. I told Jay today, I said, Jay, I'm going to bring extra energy. And I think in his head, he's like, you could bring extra energy. So yeah, yeah, man, I'm looking forward to it. It's good that we're going to do the interviews the night before. Does he have anybody specifically he's going to line up for us, or anybody that wants to come through and just get like an interview and stuff?
Actually,
how's he going to run that?
Yeah, actually, he's going to call all the teams, the 2 championship teams that are playing each game, and we're gonna, whoever shows up, we'll interview. Awesome. And then, you know, the award winners too. Like, he's going to tell the kids not award what they won, but we could speculate to the kids, like, what award do you think you're going to win? So, yeah. So hopefully a lot of kids show up next Friday night. You can't always guarantee kids showing up Friday because the games are on Saturday, blah, blah, blah. But as far as I'm concerned, I heard the high school kids might be really excited about this on Friday night as well as Saturday.
Would you know it is Friday night? Don't Friday night? Don't they do the that thing at the teen center at the rec?
Oh, not next week. Not next week. No.
Oh, so I was thinking maybe a lot of those kids that are going to be playing in the game are probably at the teen center.
Yeah, no teen center next week. You know, Peter's gonna be setting up the cameras and stuff. So right. You know, high risk. You know, one kid gets angry or pops a camera, or another kid tries to walk off with the camera. You know, it's really a high risk. So Peter will be setting up. We'll be doing our interviewing, and he'll work in our interviewing to the streaming once it's all said and done. But we have the 6 games being live. And I heard somebody from Puerto Rico was watching last year. So we're going across the globe, Rich, very slowly. But hey, if you're in Australia, www.fishkillrecreation.com, you can watch the games.
I know people in Australia, and I'm going to tell them to watch. That'd be fantastic. My wife's best friend lives out in Australia.
Awesome. Come on,
wake up, we're gonna
wake up Australia, wake up Liechtenstein. Come on,
we're gonna have a lot of fun with this, because I remember last time, like, I guess we were doing the play-by-play. We had a lot of fun with the play-by-play. I gave the kids some nicknames and stuff like that. Yeah, and I think it went over well. I think the kids enjoy like the humor aspect of it. And I also, what I think the kids like? I think the kids like that when we sit down, like, listen, we're just a MURF and EDUBBS show. We're like 2 guys from Fishkill. We're not anything special. But I think when the kids like sit in front of us and they see a camera and they're talking to 2 guys that are just literally just talking to them and asking them how they feel, and makes them feel special for a couple of minutes, I think that's pretty cool. Even if they're on the losing end of the game, or they're just a kid that wants to get his voice out there, it's just, I think it's good for the kids. And I think they really have fun with answering the questions. And no matter, I remember last time we did it, and it didn't matter if the kids were from high school or the kids were like, from 3rd and 4th grade. They all had a great attitude. There's no kid that walked in there like they were too cool for school. So, like I keep saying, like, Jay does a great job down there. So in other words, the kids are really good, and they really flourish in that program, man, because apparently from what you're saying is that high school game at 7:15 when the tip-off is, that's going to be a pretty good game to watch. So, I just realized that too. It's going to be a long day for us. We're going to be there from 11 to, I don't know, probably 9 o'clock. And I plan on keeping the podcast going on all day, guys. So if anybody wants to come through and sit down and talk sports, we'll do it. We're at a basketball function, but I am not opposed to talking about baseball, football, croquet, anything you guys want to talk about, soccer, EDUBBS. Maybe you want to bring in some competitive eaters for interviews, whatever,
I'm the ultimate competitive eater, Rich, so I'll be talking to myself, right?
I also think I'm going to get a big, I'm going to try and get a big poster like we have the MURF and EDUBBS thing. I think I'm going to get a kind of like a big poster and leave a marker there. And I want like all the kids to come through. I want all the kids to sign it and have Jay sign it and kind of like, have a little memento for us. You know what I mean? So I think that would be kind of cool.
Nice. You like chicken marsala, Rich?
I do. Jack makes a good marsala. Yes, he does. Yeah,
I just had my father-in-law's birthday. Happy birthday, Mark. He's 81 years old today. So we went over to Beacon. We had some nice dinner. And I had chicken marsala. I'm just adjusting this light here. It's crazy.
You went out to dinner in Beacon?
No, we took it. We brought it in.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I've been going through Beacon a lot lately, man. Beacon is awesome, dude. There's so much stuff there. There's bars, restaurants, little dessert places, shops. Like there's weed places up there now. It's such a cool little that Main Street is amazing.
Yeah, but don't run into the dummy light, Rich. The dummy light they have there, that little traffic light.
No, it's the dummy light.
You don't know the dummy light, huh? Well, there's a little traffic light as you're going towards Fishkill on Main Street. And somebody always runs into it, and somebody ran into it yesterday. It's just a traffic light that's been there for maybe 100 years, whatever, and they call it the dummy light. So yeah, do a Google on it, you'll find out. But hey, it's right by the weed store, by the way. So yeah, if you check it out. But yeah, no, definitely good restaurants. We went to Max's on Main a couple of weeks ago. It was really good.
Scott Barris likes that place a lot.
Yeah, and we had some Italian tonight, and the only thing missing on Main Street's a good steakhouse. I've been to the Roundhouse. It's that hotel over there. Yeah, that's pretty good. But one thing's missing, a good steakhouse. But they have everything else. They have soul food. They got Italian. They got Asian, Thai. Everything you want is right under your. They even have a diner there too, and fried chicken, Kennedy Fried Chicken. So lots of places. It's definitely a town on the rise. I looked at some of these apartments, Rich. You're going for like $1 million for these apartments. It's crazy.
It's expensive. Now we're talking about restaurants. Now, as everybody knows, well, not everybody knows it. We know Jack's birthday is coming on March 13th. Jack's going to be 17. Now, listen, we all know Jack's story from me telling me like he wants to go to CIA. He wants to be a chef. His letter of distinction. We all know his story. So tomorrow night, you'll appreciate this. We have reservations up at Ristorante Caterina di Medici or whatever. I don't know if I pronounced it correctly, but that's the Italian restaurant up at CIA.
At the culinary, yeah, very nice.
I'm looking at the menu here. I mean, these places, these restaurants here, they're great restaurants. They're not run of the mill, like stopping off have some food. Like these are really, really high level restaurants. They got all sorts of awards and stuff. And this Italian restaurant that we're going to, I think it's got an award for best Italian cuisine, I think last year or something like that, or something like that. I mean, yeah. So tomorrow night we're going to be celebrating Jack's birthday on Saturday. We start, I'm going to take him over to dinner there. So he's pretty excited about that.
What looks good on the menu, Rich? What do you think you're going to get?
I can't read Italian, so I looked at the menu, so I can't really read Italian. If I see polo, I'm going to order it.
There you go. Can't go wrong with that. That's
funny. It seems very authentic. There's a lot of some fish, fish dishes and stuff like that. But it looks really good. I think I'm going to open up.
Yeah, get the pesque is the fish, right? The pesque, right?
I have some kind of trout dish there tomorrow night. So
wow, nice.
Like I said, I will definitely let you know how it is.
Yeah, give me your reviews. Enjoy. I mean, I'm always good to for new restaurants and stuff like that. But yeah, no. There's a place over here called Bert's. It's a bakery. You ever hear Bert's? It's right on Robinson. It's like across the street from Fishkill Tire. It's that little street right there. It's like a little highway. Yeah, they make these pretzels, Rich. They're $10, but the pretzels are literally like this big. They're amazing, and you have to get there. So I stopped in 8:30 last week, and the girl said, "Come back in an hour." And I was so damn sure I got there at 9:30, and there it was, just came right out of the oven. He even told me I had to crack the box, or else it was going to a lot of condensation. So the thing was amazing. I think I ate the whole thing all by myself.
Did you dip it? Well, you're not a dipping guy, but did they give you any dipping sauces with it?
They do. They give you cheese sauce. Yeah.
Right.
Whatever.
Well, they had those pretzels like that over there at Patsy's Roadhouse, which is where Jack's going to start working there actually next Saturday. Jack's going to start working at Patsy's Roadhouse next week.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Somebody told me they had them over there and stuff. There's a place by my mom's house too. I think it's a popular thing now. These really giant pretzels, I mean, literally, I ate the whole thing by myself, Rich. I didn't share. It was gone. And it's very addictive too. I mean, I've been getting them like once every couple of weeks. And every time I drive on Main Street there, I always want to make that right turn. But, like the old cartoons with the angel and the devil sitting here, the angel's telling me don't do it. The devil's saying make the turn. And all of a sudden, right on the Robinson Lane to get one. But yeah, they're really good. Highly recommended and stuff. But yeah, other than that, the food tonight was delicious. I had marsala and I had a big plate of now let me tell you about angel hair. Angel hair is like my favorite pasta. I don't know about you. But,
I like it. Yeah, I love it. It's nice and thin.
It's really psychological. I remember when and I'm embarrassed to say this, but I've been to Olive Garden. But I remember Olive Garden had all you could eat pasta, and I would get the angel hair. I could eat 3 plates of angel hair, but I can only eat 1 plate of penne or something. It's amazing. It's the same pasta, the same whatever, but angel hair goes down so I love it. It's the best. With garlic and oil, you could probably smell the garlic from where you are right now, Rich. I'm reeking here.
Really? Yeah, I like the angel hair pasta too. Angel hair pasta is actually it's delicious. Like like Jack makes it himself.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he makes his own stuff. Yeah, you don't need to go out for that. Yeah. And then I had a nice little round little cheesecake with fruit on top of it. I put it on my Facebook page. So I had the blueberries, strawberries, kiwi, and blackberries. So it's pretty good getting your nutrition while you're eating something bad, I guess, right? The fruit and the
I put Jack made smash burgers tonight, so I'm gonna have to put the new pictures up there. He had smash burgers.
So what do you put on the smash burger? What do you put on them?
What did he put? He made them. I don't know. Oh, he put for mine it was shredded lettuce, I think mayo, ketchup, American cheese, onion, and something else.
Wow.
But he made it was a triple decker. He made and actually on a brioche bun, which he made himself. He made his own.
Wow. Yeah, the brioche is good. It kind of like
got the brioche buns down pat, dude. Like he's been working on it, but tonight he's got them. They're perfect.
They kind of like absorb the meat. Yeah. Oh, they're really good. Really good.
Amazing. He made triple deckers. He made triple decker.
Wow. Amazing.
On the half one upstairs. So after the podcast, I'm probably gonna go finish it.
There you go. Yeah, definitely. But yeah, so that's that was good. I had a nice meal. Sounds like you had a nice meal. So
yes,
we're ready to go here. So how was your week? Anything out of the ordinary or anything? Or no?
Nothing out of the ordinary. But we're gonna like you said, we're gonna jump right back. I want to talk about something. I know you're not a big boxing fan, right? I mean,
let me tell you my thing with boxing, Rich. And it's funny because a guy came up to me at work one time. He said, "You played on you played sports." I said, "Yeah." He goes, "You played on a team, right?" I said, "Well, how do you know that?" Because you're a team player. You always, you want to help this person, that person. You want to get the job done. He goes, "Yeah." I said, "I'm not into," and I really gave it thought, Rich. Like, I don't like golf. I don't like tennis. I don't like boxing. And I'm thinking, like, what are these 3 sports compared to the sports I like? They're individual sports where I'm only like into the team sports. So I can't watch golf. I can't watch tennis. I just don't like it, But yeah, my dad was a big boxing fan. He used to tell me about every Friday night, I guess Gillette Friday Night Fights or something like that. The music and the Gillette music. So every night he would watch every Friday night he'd watch boxing. He loved it. But I never got the boxing DNA, Rich, but I'll let you take it away.
Yeah, I listen. I used to love boxing. Like boxing, brings back memories for me. Like being at my grandparents' house, back in the day, like in Staten Island. Everybody would be over there. We'd over there eating my grandmother's pot roast, and all the aunts and uncles and cousins would be there. We'd be really young. I just remember the Wide World of Sports being on Channel 7.
The agony
and,
of defeat.
Now,
remember the skier, Rich, on that introduction?
Yeah, the thrill of victory and the agony of defeat.
Was it Keith Jackson, right, who hosted that, right? I think so.
Yeah. But what I remember so vividly about that is the fact that you would watch a fight at 3:00 on a Sunday afternoon, and it's not a pay-per-view event, but you're literally watching Sugar Ray Leonard, and you're watching Roberto Duran and Marvin Hagler, and you're watching all these really, really big name fighters just fighting on Sunday afternoons. And just boxing progressed from there. Then they had all these, I could name the laundry list of fighters, to come through. And then finally Mike Tyson came onto the scene, and and I think when Mike Tyson came onto the scene, I think that maybe, or it definitely is when the pay-per-view events really started getting into, they started making money off the pay-per-views and stuff like that. But watching Mike Tyson was so fierce, man. Mike Tyson was, when he came on the scene and he was young, listen, the guy's an animal. The guy's a maniac. He's got a lot of, he had a rough upbringing, growing up in Brownsville. The guy is a killer. I mean, he's literally people are afraid of him. So, and he comes into boxing, he's just literally beating the shit out of everybody. And I remember I was working at the movie theater up on Bell Boulevard in Queens the night that Mike Tyson lost to Buster Douglas that night. And obviously it was because, he was partying and he took it lightly. So we all know Mike Tyson's story. Mike Tyson is a certified killer, and he's one of the best boxers ever to put on a set of gloves. And he got money stolen from him, got into drugs a little bit. But anyway, the point I'm going to make now about what's going on with boxing is 2 points. Okay. I'll parlay the point with Mike Tyson. Now, I'd like to know what Mike Tyson is doing right now. Now, if you would ask me 5 people, if I could sit down and have a conversation with and talk, Mike Tyson is in my top 5, no doubt. I think he's one of the most interesting guys. I think he's misunderstood to a degree. And I think that I don't think that people understand and realize the degree of shit that he ate as a kid, or stuff that he saw as a kid to make him the person that he is today. All right. Now you have this kid, Jake Paul. Okay. Jake Paul is a boxer, likes to think of himself as a legitimate boxer. Okay. But at the end of the day, he's a YouTuber. He's a guy that, interviews people, and listen, he does a good job. He's do you know who he is? Do you know who Jake Paul is?
Never heard of him.
Jake Paul, like I said.
I know who Chris Paul is. Chris Paul, not Jake.
Yeah, but I can tell you right now, I think a lot more people know who Jake Paul is than Chris Paul in this world, because the guy is literally, he's one of the top YouTubers in the world. He's got multi-millions and millions of dollars, but he's got a brother too, and he's got a younger brother, and he's got a story too. But at the end of the day, they're both just douche YouTubers. But he's taken on to boxing. Okay, he's starting to become a boxer. In the beginning, he's been fighting. He's not really fighting professional fighters. He's fighting ex-MMA guys, and he's boxing, and he's beating them, which is fine. He's boxing and he's beating MMA guys. Not going to take anything away from the kid's skill, but I think to a degree, he's kind of not making a mockery out of boxing, but he's kind of I don't know. I lost you, but anyway, he's kind of just he's a boxer, but I really don't feel that he really fought anybody of any character. Let me pause this for a second, because I don't know what happened to E. E's device was not connected. So I'm going to continue the story so he hears what I'm saying. And maybe he just left on purpose because he doesn't want to talk about Jake Paul. But I don't know. I don't know if I have a problem with it. Okay. As much as, I don't know if I have a problem with it. I'm just getting a little distracted here now that E isn't here. I don't know what's going on. So let me just send him a text mid live show. E, everything okay? All right, he'll get that text. It says his device isn't connected anymore. So maybe I'm just going to have to send him the other link again. But anyway, I don't know how I feel about it. Coming from somebody who, like I just said to you, we watch boxing on Sunday afternoons, at my grandparents' house in Staten Island, and there were good fights. And I can remember watching Larry Holmes and George Foreman and Mike Tyson, Evander Holyfield, Lennox Lewis, Marvin Hagler, Oscar De La Hoya, Floyd Mayweather, Greg Haugen, Pazienza. I mean, you name it. All these guys, laundry list of amazing boxers. I guess E's trying to Says your device isn't connected, E. I don't know. Think I may have to send you another invite. Let me send you another invite. I don't know if you could hear me, but I might send you another invite. Let's see. We're gonna have to go live. This would be a good spot to I was just getting into a good conversation about this too. But anyway, I do digress, as I say. But like I said, I just went through the whole laundry list of great boxers, and I don't know what happened to boxing along the way. Maybe it got less. You know what it is? I think MMA took over UFC. Now the UFC is just out of control right now. Everybody's watching UFC. I mean, and that is, if you want to see some really good competition, you want to see some really great athletes, that's where it is. I mean, you're going to turn on the UFC and you are going to see from the smallest of cards to the biggest of cards, you're going to see people getting in there trying to rip each other's heads off just for the fact to say that they're two men and I beat another man in the ring. Now, when you look at MMA and you look at boxing, right? Now, to me, those two sports are completely different. And when I say they're two completely different sports, I mean that UFC these guys are tip-top shape athletes. They're fighting machines. They're wrestlers. They're jiu-jitsu. They karate. Like you name it, their sport. As a kid, just like football players that play in the NFL, these kids were kicking everybody's ass and they were wrestling in high school, or they're kicking everybody's ass in local dojos. And these are the kids that are in UFC right now, and they're joining these UFC gyms. But you have so many different types of ways to get out of different moves, and you could wrestle and you could punch. And when you're boxing another man and you're standing toe to toe and you're just putting your hands up and you're asking him to, let's go. There's something a little different about that. And when I mean there's something a little different, there he is. E. I can't hear you, dude. Everything. Oh, hold on. I'm going to bring you up the stage.
Yeah. You hear me?
What happened, dude?
You hear me?
I can hear you now. Yeah. What happened?
I don't know. It just went blank all of a sudden.
All right. Well, you weren't paying attention anyway, but I have to finish
maybe because of the boxing talk, it just threw me off.
Well, like I said, you weren't paying attention anyway, but I've been let me finish up this conversation I have. Let me let you know what's going on. So I was telling you about how boxing was so relevant back then, and all the boxers that came through. And now Jake Paul, there's this YouTuber. Now Mike Tyson, they've been saying that Mike Tyson is going to get in the ring with this kid, Jake Paul. Okay, now it's going to happen. It's happening. July something. July 20th on Netflix. Now, the amount of money and viewership that this kid, Jake Paul, brings in is astronomical. Now, you talk about guys got hundreds of millions of viewers. I mean, 70 million viewers, 100 million viewers. So to him, this is a spectacle. But it's also, he's trying to learn a new craft. Now, he's going in there with people that were MMA guys. Now, older. Now, I don't think Mike Tyson has it in him to have that off switch. Now, if he gets into this ring with Jake Paul, he's a tall kid. He's like 7 or 8 inches taller than him. But I don't think Mike Tyson has that switch to go half cocked and realize that he might really hurt this person. Now, whereas all these other guys that he fought, I mean, I guess he legitimately won, but they're not Mike Tyson. Now, this is going to be a spectacle. It's going to get a lot of money. And Mike Tyson seems to think it's going to put boxing back on the map. What I got to say about that is, let's see what happens. And if I just have to believe in my own head that if anybody is going to dispel this myth and make it not a mockery, it's going to be Mike Tyson. He has to go into there and he's got to punch this kid in the face twice and knock him off his high horse. Because I don't think in this kid's mind, he thinks he could beat Mike Tyson. But I also heard the story of Mike Tyson last time when he fought Roy Jones Jr. for that little spectacle. They both smoked a huge blunt together and they were high as kites in the ring. That was the last time. But at the end of the day, he's probably going to make a lot of money. And I really just hope Mike Tyson goes into this and kind of like humbles this kid, Jake Paul, a little bit. Because if you really look into him a little bit, Ian, you don't even know who he is. If you look into him a little bit, you'll do a 10-minute search on him. You'll be like, this kid is a douche. So
Rich,
I think at the end of the day, I want Mike Tyson to just beat the shit out of him and humble this kid.
How old is Mike Tyson now? How old is he?
Mike Tyson's 56, dude. And this kid
He's
is
been around
30.
forever.
This kid's like 30 or something. Now, all right. Now that's the Mike Tyson thing. And I promise you there's one more boxing note and it'll only take about 3 minutes and you might be interested in this. Do you know who Ryan Garcia is?
No.
Right now, Ryan Garcia is one of the best boxers in the entire world. Right now, Ryan Garcia is being called crazy. You know why? He went on a podcast the other day and said he was kidnapped by people, brought to an island called Bohemian Garden, and he watched people drink children's blood. He said that I was kidnapped. I was brought to an island. These elite people are trying to kill me. They want me to lose. It's because of my faith in God. Satan is coming to get me, and I'm going to be crucified like Jesus Christ. He says he was kidnapped by the elite in Hollywood, and he was brought to this place, and he was made to watch people have sex with children and to drink the blood of little children. Now, he's been talking like this his whole time. Now, this guy is either out of his mind crazy, or he's going up against his fight he's got coming up. He's 24-1, and he's fighting Devin Hanley, who's 31-0. I don't see this as a publicity stunt, and I think more and more people are hopping onto this bandwagon that there is something going on in Hollywood with the Hollywood elite, dude. There is something going on there. And I think people like that, now all of a sudden he's shutting up and he's saying, oh, I was just trolling. His dad says, that's my son. He's just trolling. His ex-wife says, I am really, really worried about this guy because he is talking crazy shit. If you want to have some entertainment, just Google Ryan Garcia and read for about 15 minutes about the stuff he's been tweeting about, dude. He is literally either 100% right or he's really crazy. And Cat Williams is another guy. You got to see what he's talking about, too. Cat Williams is putting down some great shit, too, man.
So these guys are boxers, Rich?
Ryan Garcia is a boxer. Cat Williams is a comedian.
Maybe he got hit in the head a little too much, Ryan Garcia, right?
I don't know, man. There's too many people. I don't know. There's too many people that have these type of stories. I would just, he's in Oscar De La Hoya's camp. And I feel bad for the kid if it is just like a mental breakdown because he has said in the past how depressed he was and how he sees things and, how he's bipolar and stuff. So I just hope that it's just another guy with mental health trying to reach out because the right people need to be reaching out to this kid because he really does sound crazy. And if he has any friends out there or any family to grab him and just hug him or something and just tell him that, listen, man, everything's going to be okay. Somebody, a buddy of his has to go check on that guy if he's legitimately crazy because he is talking some crazy, crazy shit, dude. And he is a multi-gazillionaire boxer, dude, and one of the best in the world. And this is what he's talking about on Twitter, dude.
Wow.
So I just had to get that out there because I think it's nuts, man.
Yeah. So is it still organized boxing? What was it? The WBC? It's still the WBC?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is. I mean, Jake Paul is kind of like an amateur boxer. Like he's not fighting another 30-year-old professional boxer.
Yeah.
Like he's getting his amateur fights and he's fighting Mike Tyson for a reason because it's a spectacle and he's 58.
I think boxing, I think of Muhammad Ali, Ken Norton, George Foreman, those were the days. And it seems like I don't follow it, but it seems like there's a whole new, those guys are old anyhow, but it's a whole new crop here. Muhammad Ali, of course, no longer with us. Is Don King still around, Rich?
I don't even know if he's alive or not. He's not involved with I don't think he's involved in boxing anymore. I haven't heard his name. Like I said, I really have been falling off with boxing for the last maybe 10 years because there really has been no competition out there. But these stories like this just come out. And this is actually a kid that I've been watching. Aiden turned me on to this kid 4 or 5 years ago. I mean, he's all of like 130 pounds of nothing, and he hits like he's 200 and something pounds. Dude. I mean, he's unbelievable. And he's like a pretty boy, like Oscar De La Hoya. I don't know if you remember who Oscar De La Hoya was. But again, I mean, just from somebody like, I do the other podcasts like Shooting the Breeze, and I talk about a lot about men's mental health and shit. And that's real stuff, man.
I think you need Ryan Garcia as a host on the show. Excuse me.
I don't even know if you know who Andrew Tate is, but Andrew Tate is a certified lunatic. And Andrew Tate, he was on Andrew Tate's podcast the other day. And even Andrew Tate was like, yo, Ryan Garcia, you got to chill out a bit. You're talking some crazy shit. And Andrew Tate's a lunatic. And he's telling Ryan Garcia he's crazy.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I don't watch it. I know Ultimate Fight Challenge. My son Ben's coming home tomorrow. But I said, are you staying? He goes, no, I got to get back to school because we're going to watch the Ultimate Fight Challenge tomorrow night. So never watched that either. So
Aiden too. I'm telling you, they're all into the UFC now. It's a big fight tomorrow night.
A lot of money being bet on the UFC too as well. It's a big gambling thing now. But I think it's pay-per-view as well. I don't know. I guess the kids all chipped in. They watch it on a big screen or something like that.
It's humongous. UFC is humongous, right? Dana White is an absolute genius. He's a genius. And you know why he's a genius? Because people talk about his brand or whatever they say. He doesn't give a shit about what he says because UFC is his brand. You know who fires him if he says something that no one likes? Him. So he could say whatever he wants, dude. And him and Joe Rogan's his boy. Joe Rogan's been with him since the beginning. And UFC is humongous. And like I said, you really don't know too much about it. I know a little bit fraction about it, but if you ever want to get into one of those combat sports, and watch like one of those one-on-one sports, obviously Ben's into it. I'm telling you, dude, it's really, really entertaining, man. It's not like watching something where you're going to see, somebody's really getting their ass kicked. No, these two men are in there beating the shit out of each other for one cause, and it's usually a really good fight. You're never seeing anybody really getting their asses kicked. You know what I mean? Well, you do, but like it's a good fight all the time. It's really UFC's cool, man. You should get into it. You should.
Yeah. And you said who's the promoter? Dana
White.
Yeah, I guess I take a quote from History of the World. It's great to be the king, right? Nothing can be done. Nothing. He's his own boss. So, and he's making a lot of money in those events and stuff like
millions. But he's not saying, he's admittingly, he's like, he's making millions. But you talk to this guy and people say like he works 24 hours a day. He's always talking. He's always on social media. He's always at meetings. He's always promoting fights. One of these fighters, and when these fighters get messed up or whatever, he pays their bills, dude. Like he's like, I mean, he's paying millionaires bills. So it's like he takes care of his brand and his people love him, dude. Love him.
Wow.
So I mean, he's doing something absolutely right. Something he's doing is absolutely right.
Yeah, not like Scott Boros with his clients, right?
Bro, I mean, you want to go right into is it what we're trying to do? We're going right into baseball?
Well, Rich, the boxing really, you have your coffee, but sorry about that.
No, I hear you. But like, I'm going into baseball. I'm done with the boxing. Like I said, I literally just had to get those two things out of there. But we're going right into baseball.
Like I said, Rich, when I wanted to watch boxing as a kid, I would just turn on a hockey game.
Yeah, well, yeah. Hockey's doing pretty good too. Rangers
or a baseball game. A lot of fights in baseball nowadays too, right?
Baseball needs a lot more fighting.
Yeah. So one thing, Rich, that just got my mind. We were talking about fighting and stuff, and I don't know why it crossed my mind, but if you're watching college basketball lately and you see these kids, I guess they rush the court, whatever, and we've seen a couple of kids get hurt already because of this. And they said, well, kids always been doing that since the 1940s and stuff, but I think the behaviors now of kids are a little bit different than the kids in the 1940s. I don't know why they still allow it. It just looks like a madhouse. It looks like someone could get trampled one day or something like that. It's just amazing how nobody comes out and is killed or something like that.
Yeah, I haven't really been paying attention to college basketball at all. I mean,
So Caitlin Clark, she's the all-time scorer.
Yes.
So she actually passed Pistol Pete Maravich. So she's not only the all-time women's scorer, but she's the all-time scorer in college basketball. So there was a game where fans were rushing the court, and one girl just like ran right into her, basically almost ended her season. I mean, I don't know if she almost got hurt and stuff. And then there was another incident. I think it was like a Duke or North Carolina was involved, and one of the stars got hurt and stuff. So, it's just, I don't know. It's crazy as it seems, but you're going to see someone get really hurt one day because of this, because we're not civilized anymore, Rich. We do stunts. We jump out of planes. We do all this crap because we watch on TikTok. These kids just it's just unbelievable. It's totally different than it was in the 70s. I mean, look at Yankee Stadium. Chris Chambliss' home run. Yankee Stadium goes bedlam. There's guys on the field and stuff. Chambliss knocks a guy over. But can you imagine going on a field at Yankee Stadium today? Fans are good. You need Wade Boggs on that horse again from 1996.
Yeah.
Right?
Let me, you know what? You just reminded me of something. Remind me a second. You mentioned what's her name? The girl from Iowa?
Caitlin Clark.
You know what? And you know what we feel? I feel, whatever. She is doing something right now that is legitimately awesome, dude. And she is such a down-to-earth, cool girl. I mean, like, she gets it, dude. She's going to be the face of the WNBA when she gets it.
No doubt.
I'm telling you right now, the WNBA, it's competitive. Like, it's compared to men's. It's like, I mean, I can watch women's basketball, but you know what I'm trying to say. But anyway, she is going to do really, really good things for the WNBA because she's going to get there and she's going to become some kind of, like, I guess, ambassador. But I do want to mention something. And when I say this, it might sound crazy, but we have a girl in our community right here, okay, that's playing basketball. And the Sweeneys are friends of ours. Her name is Gabby Sweeney. Okay, she goes to John Jay. Now, that night that Jack got that letter of distinction, the board meeting was going on. And I know she's a junior. Okay, is she a junior or a sophomore? I think it'd be even crazy if she's a sophomore. But she just eclipsed 1,000 points for a high school career herself.
Oh, wow. At third year.
Yes. Now, this girl is the epitome of what somebody that's going to go and take their skill to the highest level. I don't know if I told you in the past, we had gone on vacation with them in the past. I'm an early riser. It's like I'd get up in the morning at 4 o'clock in the morning. She's already out there on the court going back and forth doing dribbling drills and exercises and stuff. Now, her name is Gabby Sweeney. Now, I'm telling you right now, this might just be – you are going to hear this girl's name. I wouldn't be surprised if you hear it like this girl, Caitlin, whatever her name is, because she's going to Bryant, I think. That's the college that she's going to go to.
Oh, in Massachusetts by Boston, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, but she was being touted by also – she ran into Gino – what's his name? Gino – is it Gino the guy from Connecticut?
Yeah, Gino Amarula?
Yeah.
Something
Crazy thing. She's telling me a story. She runs into him in the airport. She recognized him, but that's not the person. He recognized her in the airport.
Wow. Impressive.
Like, from kind of like from scouting film and everything like that. And
impressive.
Kind of hooked her up with some interviews. But this girl has a very, very promising athletic career. And that's why every time I hear this girl, Gabby, can definitely be this girl because she is an unbelievable athlete. And I'm so happy for this girl that from Iowa. I'm so happy for her. I really am.
Yeah. Well, Caitlin definitely put college basketball on the map. And to pass Pistol Pete Maravich, that's amazing too, and stuff like that. Pete Maravich.
Listen, I don't want to hear what anybody says about it as far as like it's a girl, a sport, and a boy. She's playing against her peers.
Yeah, no.
In other words,
it's still a sport. Yeah.
Right. No, what I'm saying, no, not even saying that's not even a sport. Like you want to say, like, she's a woman basketball player. Okay, she's playing against her peers. So in other words, same with the men. The men play against their peers. She is the best college basketball player in college right now. She's amazing. Amazing. It doesn't minimize anything because it's like they're playing against their peers. I mean, you want to go into the whole fight that's going on in Congress now, why you want to let boys play with girls. I mean, now let me ask you a question, okay? You don't have to comment about this, but this is kind of sports related, okay? Say you're that girl, Caitlin, I keep forgetting her last name, okay?
Clark.
Say you're Caitlin, whatever, okay? She's been obviously playing basketball at a high level, okay? Now she's a senior in high school. All of a sudden, Charles Barkley with the wig on becomes a senior and wants to play on the basketball team, okay? Now, when I'm saying that, it's like, and I don't feel bad saying this. If you're transitioning from a male to a female, you should not be playing sports with girls. You want to put girls to play with boys, that's fine, but it's a matter of science, okay? And if anybody has a problem with that, because how would you be like to be that girl or the swimmer from Penn State who's been working her entire life, holds all these records, and then to have some guy jump in a pool with her and break her record in 1 year? It's not fair, dude. It's not.
Definitely not fair.
Why when I say what she's doing is amazing because she's doing it with her peers. Now, if something like I said, if Charles Barkley with the wig on came to like dunking the basketball over her head, that's just not fair to anybody.
Exactly. I think even the men's game, Charles Barkley with a wig on is not fair.
Yo, I love Charles Barkley and Shaquille O'Neal because even when they're not on the same broadcast together, they're still making fun of each other, dude.
Oh,
Charles Barkley was on some random show the other day where they were talking about like stuff in the ocean, right? And they brought up some kind of specific whale, and they were talking about a whale. He's like, well, I don't know. I know somebody at home right now that looks really like a whale. That's probably watching.
Oh, jeez.
And it's just like the thing is like Shaq's always catching strays.
Yeah, that whale they were talking about. That's pretty. It's pretty incredible because that whale hasn't been seen in the Atlantic Ocean for like 200 years, basically. So they said it swam all the way from the Pacific to the Atlantic, and it's just pretty wild that that species has not been seen for over 200 years. So,
it's nature, dude. It's nature. It's like we know nothing about it. We know zero about it. We know
Rich,
about dogs
you know how much
in our house.
You know how much of the planet we don't know about, Rich?
We know nothing.
Even our own country, there's probably areas that have been not even touched by man and stuff like that. It's crazy. It's so hard to believe.
Think about some of these places when you hear like a murder happen. Let's just say like a murder happening like in a little bumfuck town, and like everybody's scouring the area. Sometimes you look and like there's just acres and miles of nothing. Like when that girl Gabby, whatever her name is, Petito, when her husband murdered her and put her body into the Everglades. How are you going to find a body in the Everglades, dude? I mean, you're right, man. There's so much of our country that we probably don't even know about.
But just think about the world too. It's 70% water, Rich. So there's just so much stuff that we don't know about. Exactly, I agree. And but it's good to see this nature story sometimes with this whale. And hope he wants to stay in the Atlantic. Maybe he'll like the East Coast.
Yeah, maybe. I'm sure we'll give him a name and everything, and it'll be all big thing. He'll be on
Oh,
Twitter.
he'll have his own X account too.
Yeah, I
So,
Twitter, but yeah.
You know, that owl did too. The owl in Central Park that died recently, crashed into the building. He had his own Twitter. The Yankee turtle, remember they used to bring that turtle in the locker room? He had his own Twitter. So, you know, a lot of people have their own Twitter. Well,
Eric,
animals have their own Twitter.
Eric, watch it. This is all a clever ruse to cover up our eyes to what's going on, dude. There is bad things going on in this world right now, dude. And they're killing us with these little stories, and they're telling us to feel bad for this one. But the world is like ending right in the front of our eyes, dude. It's a bad thing, right? And I understand that we're talking about a sports show and it's our distraction, but it's to a point where you can't get away from it, dude. It's like, you know what it is? It's like something has to be done, and it's just like it just engulfs every conversation. It really does.
So, Rich,
it's more polarizing than anything's ever been in my lifetime.
Well, can you imagine the world ending and the Jets not winning a Super Bowl?
I couldn't. So then I'd have to be dead and be
in
unhappy.
Your lifetime, they won the Super Bowl.
I'd be dead and unhappy.
Well, I did see something today, and I know you're going to be happy about it. The Jets got a pick, and it might be Mr. Irrelevant. So if they follow what San Francisco did with Mr. Purdy, the Jets might have the Mr. Irrelevant pick this year, and maybe they'll draft their own Brock Purdy. And you know, well, Brock hasn't won the Super Bowl yet, but he's getting there. Lost it this year, but you know, maybe the Jets will have their own Brock Purdy if they get this Mr. Irrelevant pick.
Now, why do you say that? Oh, they do have the last and final pick.
Well, here it is. They got a compensatory pick, but it's the last three.
Okay.
I guess they got to do some whatever, and they either get the third to the last, second to last, or the last pick. So stay tuned for that, Rich. Maybe they will get a Brock Purdy.
Well, I personally think like I'm starting to, you know, the draft is coming up soon and everything, so that's why I'm kind of like more paying attention. I really have been paying attention a little bit, and I got to tell you, and I don't know if this is a popular opinion among Jet fans, but I think their first pick has to go to an offensive lineman because there's 4 offensive linemen studs in this draft. The kid from Notre Dame, Penn State, Oregon, and I think Alabama. There's 4 kids that are legit studs. I really do think that, and I'm telling you right now, this may not be a popular opinion, but if Penix is there in the second round, draft Michael Penix Jr. If he is there in the second round, because there's 6 top-level quarterbacks that I mean, supposedly, you know, that are supposed to be going. And everybody's kind of low on Penix because, you know, rumors of how he got hurt a long time ago and how he's very emotional. And I don't care, dude. You watch that guy at the combine and you listen to what people say about him and how smart he is about football and how quiet he is and how he just learns and listens. He's got a shotgun cannon for an arm. Overlook him all you want, dude. Because if he is sitting there in the second round and he has to sit behind Aaron Rodgers for a year, give me Michael Penix any day of the week. If they're still there, and they got their offensive lineman, and that kid's still there in the second round, they don't take him. And listen, I'm not the smartest guy in the world. I'm saying I'll be mad because I think that's what they should do. But no one really does know. But I think Penix is going to be a good quarterback, dude. I don't know. What do you think about it?
Yeah, I want to talk to you about Caleb Williams. So Caleb Williams, he didn't want to get a physical, I guess. So the Chicago Bears really have the NFL by the balls right now because the Bears have that number 1 pick, and it's like probably the first time in 40 years that anyone cared about the Bears. But are the Bears going to draft this guy, or are they going to keep Justin Fields, trade Justin Fields? It's just mind-boggling when you cover up a physical. You're covering up something, right? Because if you're there, get the physical, the doctors, but you're saying no, so something's covering up there. And if I'm the Bears, I got to be very cautious about that. Because if they draft this guy and he gets hurt and he's out of the league within 2 years, boy, they really blew it.
I mean, first, you think he's going to go first? I think Jaden Daniels might go before him.
Oh, they're saying he's going to go first, Rich. Yeah.
I think it's amazing. It's amazing. Now, again, we can't predict how these kids are going to do.
This kid from Michigan, who you said, what's his name? McCarthy. The Michigan runs the ball a lot, so you really don't get the full sample size because they're not passing the ball that much. But, you know, I just don't know. I would just hold on to Justin Fields if I were the Bears. Maybe trade the pick. Yeah.
I would too. You know, and the thing is too, is like you're already getting a headache from Caleb Williams. You're already getting a headache if you draft the kid because half the team's not going to like him because it's going to be like, who the hell do you think you are? That who do you think you are? Mentality. You have done nothing. You're a college athlete. That's all you are when you get to the NFL. I don't give a shit if you won the Heisman Trophy. You're a college athlete until you get punched in the mouth by a man on defense or a man on offense. That's how I feel. Okay, and I do not think. I think Caleb Williams. I was talking about this the other day. He is part of this, the part of this generation, the me generation, that is a big, and I know we're not supposed to curse on this too much, he's a big pussy. And I think maybe he's gifted athletically. Maybe he could throw the ball. Maybe he could run like Excel. But when you have men that are getting paid a lot of money to kill you, it makes your job a hell of a lot harder than some 280-pound middle linebacker that's been smoking weed in his dorm room. Well, maybe not, but like I'm talking about the level of play is just going to be upped just to a degree that I don't know if a kid like that can handle it.
No, not at all. I mean, yeah, if I was an NFL team, I would definitely be cautious. Maybe the Raiders will take him or something like that.
I would stay far away from him, dude. I think that this, and you know what they're saying too? They're saying, what's his name? Harbaugh might draft McCarthy, but why? You know what I mean? Like, why would he draft? Why? I mean, he did nothing really for him. You know what I mean? Like, the only reason why JJ McCarthy looks like a good pick is because he's part of a he's part of a national championship. He handed the ball off, right? He called the plays. I guess he had a little something to do, but that wasn't a quarterback win. Won by a quarterback.
In order to be a quarterback, you got to be a leader, Rich. And, just handing the ball off without there's no sample size, like I said. So, and plus, they got Herbert. Give the guy a chance. I mean, he's been through so many coaches already, so many offensive coordinators. I mean, now that Harbaugh's there, maybe Herbert has a great year and stuff. The Chargers are like the most Jekyll and Hyde team in the NFL. Yeah. They look so good one year, but they finished 500 this year. They're predicted again another bad year. I mean, the Chargers are just the Chargers, and we've seen the Chargers be like it for years.
Let me ask you a question, see if we're on the same page. If you could compare Justin Herbert to one quarterback, who would you compare him to? I'm not talking about old day quarterback. I'm talking modern day quarterback. If you could compare him to one guy, who do you think it would be?
Maybe Kirk Cousins. I don't know.
I think he's Matthew Stafford.
Oh, okay.
That's just my personal opinion, because I mean the guy has talent up the ass. You can't see maybe a change of scenery, him doing what Matthew Stafford did when you actually give him an offensive line, or if you give him like a running back that decides to play on Sunday and maybe he doesn't want to play on Monday. You know what I mean? So if you get him on a team that's good, that's full force. I'm a full-time 40-hour work, employee. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, he's 6'6", 225 pounds, dude. And he throws the ball 90 yards.
Yep.
How could you not do something with that? And not to mention, I mean, not for a lot of injuries. In the last 10 years, what's his name's been one of the top 10 wide receivers. In the last 5
Keenan
years.
Allen, of course. Keenan Allen
is, I mean, in the last 5 years, he's been one of the top wide receivers in the game.
Yep.
So how are you a team that is struggling that bad when you have talent? It's the coach?
Yeah. Well, maybe Harbaugh solved it now. The coaches were bad. Maybe Harbaugh comes in and they start winning. Maybe Herbert has a 5,000-yard passing season this year. Maybe the Chargers go to Super Bowl. You never know. You never know. I mean, he's definitely not Pat Mahomes. We know that. There's only one Pat Mahomes.
Nobody's Pat. That's the thing. Like, we've talked so much about Pat Mahomes ad nauseum, but I mean, I could talk about him all day too. It's like nobody is Pat Mahomes, dude. And I've been watching sports for a really long time. I have never seen a Pat Mahomes.
Yeah,
never seen him. Pat Mahomes, that's it. That he's who he is. There's
crazy.
There's never been a football player in history besides Lawrence Taylor that changed the game the way he did, the way he does. Yep. You have to watch. Not only do you have to watch for the run and the pass, but you have to watch for his little slick little underhand pushes and the guy's a magician, dude. And there's nobody been like him ever to put on a pair of shoulders.
And Rich, don't forget he lost Tyreek Hill 2 years ago, and they won 2 Super Bowls without him. So go figure, right?
Yeah, with who? Exactly.
Right?
You know what I mean? It's like, with who as your wide receiver? I couldn't imagine if Tyreek Hill just shut the hell up. You know what I mean? And play football.
Exactly.
Could you imagine? He'd have 2,000 yards every season. Every season.
Yep.
People would be talking about Tyreek Hill as the greatest football player ever if he had Mahomes throwing him the ball.
Well, Tyreek Hill and Kelsey too. You know what a 1-2 punch that is, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Crazy.
I know we talked about, I mean, Travis
But,
Kelce
one quarterback that's going the opposite direction is Russell Wilson. Did you hear about Russell Wilson this week?
No, you said you had something about him. I didn't hear about this. Go ahead.
Yeah. So he won 11 games in 2 years with the Broncos, and he made $124 million in winning in those 11 games. So do the math, Rich. I mean, they had the coach who's now the Jets offensive coordinator, right? The first coach he's with. They brought in Peyton this year, and the same thing happened. So Denver. Here's a statistic, Rich. So Denver paid 3 times per win. Then San Francisco is paying Brock Purdy for his entire 4-year contract. Is that ridiculous, Rich? They signed him. Well, first of all, the Broncos wanted to be Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning came to Denver. He got the 2 Super Bowls. He won one, and then ironically, he lost one to Russell Wilson. But they wanted Russell Wilson to continue his Hall of Fame path. I mean, the guy's 35 years old. He's jobless right now. There is no Hall of Fame for Russell Wilson right now. Oh. Where's he going to go? He might go to Atlanta, might go to New England, might even go to Pittsburgh. Who knows and stuff. But he might even be a backup. But it's the worst trade in NFL history. Denver gave up 5 picks, 2 first-rounders, 3 players, and for a 5-year, $242 million contract. So by cutting him, the Broncos are now $85 million in dead cap, so they can't even spend that money this week when free agency starts, right? And I went back and looked at some other trades of quarterbacks, some other bum quarterback trades within the year. We had Carson Palmer to the Raiders, Carson Wentz to Indy, Drew Bledsoe went to Buffalo. Of course, Atlanta traded Brett Favre to Green Bay. That was a stupid trade for Atlanta, right? Chris Chandler to my Buccaneers. The Buccaneers got Chris Chandler because they thought Steve Young wasn't a good quarterback. How about that? And Jeff George, another quarterback. So we see these quarterback trades, but this might be the worst trade in NFL history, Rich, this Russell Wilson deal. I mean, no matter where he goes, he definitely regressed. He's not going to be a Hall of Famer. He's not the player that was in Seattle. Don't forget in Seattle, he had Metcalf and Lockett and stuff. Who did Denver have last year at wide receiver? Nobody,
Judy.
Right?
Right? Judy was hurt. Judy was hurt every other week.
Yeah, Judy was hurt, and I forget the other guy who was there, but yeah, I mean,
but how do you go, Eric? How do you go? Like, you follow sports just as closely as I do. How do you go from being Russell Wilson to Russell Wilson? How do you go from Pete Carroll made Russell Wilson, and as well as if Geno Smith leaves Seattle, God bless him, get as much money as he can, but he's going to become Geno Smith again, just like Russell Wilson became Russell Wilson once he left Pete Carroll. I don't think anybody gives Pete Carroll enough credit for what he did for both of those guys, what he did for Russell Wilson and what he did for Geno Smith, and what he did for Marshawn Lynch, for that matter. Marshawn Lynch would have been out of the league if Pete Carroll didn't say, "Wait a second,
right?
This is something weird." But he's a good football player. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I don't think Pete Carroll gets enough
credit, though, Rich. Pete Carroll's with the Jets. He couldn't do it with the Jets. All of a sudden, he goes to Seattle, and he's a great coach, right? Amazing, right?
And that was one. I mean, I was mad. They gave him 1 season, and they got rid of him. 1 season. And this guy right now is going to go down in history as one of the most iconic coaches ever to put on a headset. And the Jets gave him 1 year and said, "I don't think you're going to work out, Pete."
Yep, it's crazy. Same thing with Rich Kotite too. They gave Kotite that 1 year as well. Remember that? I think we won 1-15 that year. But yeah, this Russell Wilson thing, how it's going to pan out, we all know free agency is going to start this week.
Yes.
I mean, geez, what team's going to take a chance on him? Basically,
I personally, I don't think anybody. Now let's start our conversation, like I said, about what you. I got a question for you. Okay, there's a lot of people that are going to become free agents out there. Okay,
yeah.
You're hearing a lot of things about. There's a lot of running backs. There's a lot of this, a lot of that. There's 6 running backs, high-level running backs right now. They're going to be looking for work. Okay, now, which one of those guys do you think is going to make a situation better? Like I, for instance, I'll tell you what I feel. Out of all of those situations going on, I think you're looking at a possible Super Bowl champion if Houston signs Saquon Barkley.
Oh, I was just thinking about that, Rich. Yeah, definitely.
And what's his name? They've been seen talking. The quarterback there. What's his name? Quickly.
CJ Stroud, right?
CJ Stroud and Saquon Barkley. Put Saquon Barkley on that offense, dude. with a purpose, with a 22-year-old kid that plays the position like his head's on fire. I mean, what's going to stop that? They made the playoffs this year. What were they +7 from the year before as far as wins?
Yep.
Now, to me, that seems like one of the most impactful trades or free agent signings that could happen right now. I don't know if you agree or if you have something else, but Mike Evans going back to Tampa Bay is another very impactful thing for Tampa Bay.
I'm going to talk about that.
Believe it or not, I don't think they're going to be that good next year, but that was very impactful for them because if they lose him, no quarterback's going to want to come to Tampa Bay. So that's another one I think that was very big, and that's done already.
Yeah. So Mike Evans, 10 years in the league, 1,000 yards every season, very quietly, Rich. And the guy, he really has no baggage on him, no controversies. He had that one controversy where he kneeled for the Star Spangled Banner, but he came out and apologized to the military, saying that he shouldn't have done that. And every protest he has will be done through an organization, whatever, and stuff like that from now on. So I think it really embarrassed him what he did on the field. But here's a guy that came out of college, Buccaneers first-round draft pick in 2014. And, the funny thing along the way, Rich, he's got like 1,000 yards per season. But, he's had 7 quarterbacks. So he had Mike Glennon, Josh McCown, Jameis Winston, Ryan Fitzpatrick, Blaine Gabbert, Tom Brady, and of course Baker Mayfield. So he only had 3,000 yards from Brady. So a lot of these yards came from the other quarterbacks, Rich. You
got it. I think now you're going to think I'm crazy for saying this, but Mike Evans, unbelievable. I think at some point, like when you're talking about great players, you kind of have to take into consideration who they're playing with, especially like with a wide receiver. Or even a running back for that, man. More like a wide receiver, a running back, more like an offensive line. I truly think that if Barry Sanders had Dallas Cowboys offensive line, he would have ran for maybe 3,000 yards every year. But you got to take in, you just brought up a really good point. The guy's a consummate 1,000 yards, okay, over 100 receptions with who throwing them the football? Super Bowl champion Tom Brady. Yeah, for 1 year. Well, for 2 years. But you just riddled off a bunch of names that they're not winning Super Bowls. They're not playing on high levels. Baker Mayfield's starting to show a little shit now, but are you kidding me? And so I think that at some point, like when you think like, look at the quarterback that was throwing them the football. You know what I mean?
We could both agree Mike Evans is a Hall of Famer. No doubt about it.
Oh, yeah. Without a doubt. Without a doubt.
You know what, though? He could have tested the free agency waters, Rich, but I think he wanted to stay in Tampa. I think he liked his rapport. Baker's not signed yet even, but I think Baker will come back because he was taking batting practice with the Yankees yesterday, and the Yankees facility is like right across the street from Raymond James. So I think Baker will be coming back. But the Buccaneers' MO was to let him test the free agency waters and then come back to them, but it didn't even get the free agency. So 2-year contract worth $52 million and basically a buck for life. He's only 30 years old. Right. He's 33rd all-time list of receiving. And if he gets 2,000 yards the next 2 years, he's in the top 15. He's only one of 8 receivers in that top 30, whatever, that's only played for one team. So we rarely see guys play for one team anymore. But, he wanted to stay in Tampa. He wants to win another Super Bowl. And not only that, if they bring back Baker, they put the franchise tag on Antoine Winfield Jr. I mean, the band is coming back, and Tampa's a really nice place to play. We know with the weather, they won the division last year. And, if you're a free agent, it's like, why not go to Tampa? It's a crappy division. All you got to do is win 9 games and excel in the playoffs and stuff. I know they won that first playoff game with the Eagles. The Eagles never showed up. Went to Detroit, got spanked around by the Lions, of course. We all know the Lions went next week and they got spanked by the 49ers. But free agency is really going to be attractive to a guy. There's no state tax too in Florida, right? So, and
what's the name of the Tampa Bay? Who owns the Tampa Bay Buccaneers? What's the guy's name?
The Glazer family owns the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and they own the Manchester United soccer team. So
it didn't even go. You know why it didn't go to free agency? Because this is what happened. I'm gonna set up a little scenario for you. Okay, it's like 6:30 a.m. Sun's coming up in Tampa. I don't even know if this kid's married or not. He's probably not married. Probably went to bed early.
He's married, 3 kids.
He is married. He's got his wife next to him, and they're laying down. Phone rings at like 8 o'clock. He picks it up and says, "Hey, this is Mr. Glazer from the what do you call it? Well, we understand you're going to test free agency. Just see what you got going on out there, and give me a call. Let's see what's going on." Got up, went for a run. And he looked around and says, "What, am I crazy? This place is absolutely beautiful." People are going to, I'm not leaving Tampa. So in his mind, the minute that offer was given to him that he could go fresh to free agency, he stepped out on his beautiful balcony or wherever he lives, looked at the weather, looked at the ocean, and said, I'm not going anywhere. And I think that's got to be a draw to guys that have been in the league for a little while. Tampa Bay doesn't suck. They're pretty good, and they can make themselves better. I'm not saying Mike Evans is running around next year saying they're going to win the Super Bowl. But you know what, though?
No.
I'm in a nice place. They like me here. Baker's doing well. Let's give it a run.
Yeah, Rich, if you had a choice, Tampa or going to Cleveland, where would you pick?
Tampa. Right. Tampa every single day of the week. No doubt. Why would you even want to go to Cleveland to play?
Amazing.
Unless you're a football player, straight up football player. You don't care about like quality of life. You just get in there and you just want to beat the shit out of people and chew people's ears off. All right, then you go to Cleveland. Then you go to like places like that. But if you're a guy that wants a good quality of life and wants to like a little longevity, go to Tampa, go to Miami, go to freaking San Diego. Even though San Diego's San Diego,
Los Angeles.
Go to LA.
Yep.
LA, whatever. They were supposed to win 3 games last year. But you know what? They're in LA. Who knows? Everything's happens in LA.
Rich, I would even go to Las Vegas. Right?
Vegas. Why not? These are beautiful places to live. The quality of life is just so much better. Go to Arizona. Arizona is in shambles, but it's probably got the best weather hands down in the entire country. So these are things that people do take into consideration. I have to think that.
You could go.
Who's going to want to go? What are you going to say? Like, you're in the league 10 years when all of a sudden, like, Buffalo's looking really good. And you're like, oh my God, Buffalo might sign me. And you're playing in Miami right now. Are you going to want to go to Buffalo? Playing in Miami?
Actually, Evans was rumored to go to Buffalo, believe it or not.
Exactly. He looked outside and saw Tampa. It's not going to go to Buffalo.
He scored 50 feet of snow in the playoff game. But
Baker Mayfield and Josh Allen came out in the same draft.
I was saying he can go to Kansas City. But did you see those Chiefs fans, Rich? It's just coming out now that they're losing their fingers, their limbs, their arms, their hands, because they all got frostbite from that one game. There was one woman, she said she took her gloves off for 5 minutes, and now she's going to lose all her fingers. It's just mind-boggling.
Eric, there's no way any of those stories are true. Maybe 5 of them are true. People are trying to cash in on that.
You know what, Rich?
I have worked in sub-zero temperatures with wind 60 mile an hour whipping in my face. And I went out there to go to work. I watched a goddamn football game.
I did see it in the New York Post. So, how valid could it be, right? People
are trying to cash in. Of course, one person probably got frostbite and everybody else was like, you know what? I was a little cold that day too. Come on. It's what's going on in America right now.
Rich,
everybody's getting money. Everyone sue.
Oh,
Get money.
Of course. I just want to take it back to Mike Evans. In 10 years, he's only missed 8 games.
I'll talk about him all day. I love Mike Evans.
He missed 8 games in 10 years. And one of those games was because he took Marcus Lattimore on the Saints and threw him to the ground and got suspended. So one game was just that's durability, if you ask me, right?
Yeah, absolutely. In football, and you're a wide receiver playing at a high level, you miss 8 games. Yeah, absolutely. That's 1,000%. I like him, and I think he made the right decision staying in Tampa. And who's to say Baker Mayfield doesn't have like one more splash of maybe I can do something? For the next maybe 2 years. I think Baker Mayfield maybe this year came down to earth and realized who he was, because I think he always played on that Johnny Manziel type stuff, like I'm the best. Look at me taking pictures. But I think maybe now he's getting a little bit older, Baker Mayfield. He's like, all right, I'm a little older now. It's like, I still got my skill about me. Let's try and win here and not be such a dick. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely all about maturity. Yeah, he's not in Cleveland. Yeah. Oh, look, he did the reversal, Rich. He went to start in Cleveland. Now he's in Tampa. So, maybe the cold air did it to him or something like that, right?
So, in other words, he's in Tampa now. He's never leaving. Buffalo calls, Pittsburgh calls. He is not going anywhere. I'll retire if Tampa Bay doesn't want to sign me right now.
Maybe, Russell Wilson will go to Pittsburgh because he wants to have a job. But, it's crazy. So Rich, where are your Jets going? Zach Wilson, what's up with that? I know Woody Johnson says he doesn't want him, basically. He's out. Are they going to trade him, or he's still under contract, I believe, right?
Yeah, he's still under contract. Now you're gonna have me talk about the Jets. I think they're going to get rid of him. Okay, first off, and I think I know where he's going to go. I think they're going to trade him to San Francisco.
Oh wow,
I do. I think they're going to trade him to San Francisco just because There's all the rumors that, they were the only other team besides the Jets that were really looking at him. I don't know. Maybe he'll go to San Francisco. Actually, no, I don't think he's going to go to San Francisco. They're not going to put 2 Jet losers on there. Sam Darnold's already out there. But I think that he's probably going to get traded somewhere. And I hate to say it, but I could be wrong. I think you're going to be talking about him like Tim Couch, something like that in a couple of years. So you're going to be talking about him like, not even a guy, not even like, what's his name? You just mentioned, what's his name? I forgot his name, but those quarterbacks that have just been around the league for like 13, 14 years and played for 13 different teams. I don't even think he's going to be that guy. He's going to be, remember Zach Wilson? Yeah, his mom was pretty hot. That's pretty much what we're going to remember about Zach Wilson.
Maybe,
but what I do think is like what I said to you before, and I really truly mean that.
Maybe he'll go to the Giants, Rich.
Maybe. He can't play football, Eric. He's not a football player, dude.
Nope.
And look, I get it. You heard Shaquille O'Neal the other day, dude. You heard Shaquille O'Neal going nuts on Chris Russo the other day about not being an athlete.
Oh, geez.
Oh my God.
I gotta get the snip on that. I could just
you gotta look that up because, and you know what though? At the end of the day, Shaquille O'Neal says what he wants whenever he wants, and he's 100% right with what he's saying. He's calling himself and others like him G14 athletes. We played the game at a high level. We're Hall of Famers. Don't tell me what I perceive on the football field as being lazy, or don't tell me what I perceive is wrong and what you perceive is right. You never picked up a football in your entire life or a basketball in your entire life. Shaquille O'Neal ripped Mad Dog the other day, and I love it because I hate Mad Dog. I can't stand Mad Dog. He irks me to a core whenever time I hear his voice because he does. How is he making $80 million doing what me and you are doing right now?
Yep.
How? Whatever. That's another tangent. But he's right though. So when I think about the fact that we could say we want about athletes, but athletes know athletes, and we just perceive what we see on the field. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I don't know what to expect because I really do feel that Mekhi Becton was very lazy this year.
Right.
I really do feel that the entire offensive line just was not good football players. Not even that they're lazy. I can't even call men lazy that are playing football because I just think they're just not good football players.
Yeah,
or they're not in the right system.
I think it's the coaching staff too, Rich.
Yes. I don't know why. Listen, he might be a nice guy, but why Salah got a second shot or a third shot just because Aaron Rodgers wasn't ready to go this year? No, you should have fired him, dude. Should have fired him and everybody else on that staff. And again, you don't want to look at somebody and say you should be fired. But if you want to fix the problem as fans and as me perceiving my team as sucking, there was no discipline on that team. They were the most penalized team in the NFL.
Yep.
You know what that shows me? They're not disciplined, and that's because of the coach.
Lack of coaching. Yep.
Yeah, lack of coaching. Okay. Now, the GM's job is kind of like gambling. The GM's job is like playing roulette. You know what I mean? Like you can do all the research you want about how many times the ball falls on red. It's going to fall on black sometimes. It's going to fall on another color sometimes. But the fact of the matter is you're doing your research. It doesn't always pan out. So the GM's job is a little tougher. The coach's job is straightforward. You are men. You play football for me, and this is my scheme. He lost the locker room and all the talk about everybody talking behind each other's back and this, that, and the other thing. You can't have that. You can't have that. And I think Aaron Rodgers, I guess, has to go in next year and take that team and just smack them all in the ass and say, let's go.
Yep.
I don't think that they're going to make smart choices. I don't think so. Just because of their record.
Yeah, well, it's this is it for them, for both Douglas and Saleh if they don't produce this year. Woody Johnson says 7 wins doesn't cut the mustard for him, so we shall see.
Woody Johnson did sell the team to Steve Cohen. Woody Johnson knows nothing about football, dude. Nothing at all about football.
Steve Cohen know about football, though, Rich?
He has more money, and I think he's more passionate about his team than Woody Johnson. I'm not saying he knows more. I think he's more passionate.
Oh, yeah.
Mark Cuban. Like guys like that. You need owners like that. Like he's not an owner. He's like, hey, me and my buddy's got a fantasy team. My fantasy team's the New York Jets. Like, what? Yeah, I'm a billionaire. I just picked the Jets. I think that a lot of those owners, I think they play that game. You know what I mean? Where it's just a write-off. I'm writing off all this stuff because I own the building and I own the team. And this is just my bullshit. You know what I mean? Because I think Woody Johnson's that kind of owner. Where I think is a guy like Bob Kraft, you like him or not like him, I think he's all in with the football, dude. I really do.
But then you have Jerry Jones too, Rich. Look at Jerry Jones. He's the ultimate douche, right?
Too much. He's too much in.
See, that's the thing. You have your extremes. You have your too much, You have your none. You need somebody like right in the middle, basically.
Yeah, but I think again, I go back to Mark Cuban. I think he's the consummate owner in sports because Mark Cuban
Oh, players love Cuban. I mean,
players
what he
love
did
him.
for
The
the
fans love
players.
him.
Yep.
Yeah, the guy could literally sit in the middle. The guy's a multi-billionaire. He's on TV. He could literally in that stadium sit in the nosebleed seats one night and just hang out and drink beers with the fans, and nothing will happen to him.
Right.
You know, it's like you just chill out with the normal people. You know what I mean? And he does that a lot too.
Of course.
Of course. Not to mention he's got the best player on the planet on his team right now. And I got to tell you, we're going to talk about NBA in a little while, but I am waiting, and it's going to happen. There's only about 15 games left. I am waiting for an aggressive altercation between Luka and Kyrie. I am waiting for Luka to grab Kyrie by the throat in the middle of the court, in the middle of a game, and tell him, why don't you play like this all the time? You're lazy. You see the way he looks at him on the court? He never passes him the
look,
basketball.
Rich, you see their record? I mean, they have two.
Did you see what he did the other night?
Yeah.
Now, if you watch what he did the other night in Boston, all right, when they played Boston, now Boston's the best. Listen, they're my team. They're the best team in the NBA right now, hands down. Nobody's beating them right now. What he did the other night was score. All right, my teammates are around. All right, let's try and be a teammate and pass the ball. Going down the court, passes it off to this one, misses an open three-pointer, passes it up to this one, open alley-oop. He gave it one quarter, and then he went back in the third quarter and says, I'm just going to start scoring again. So instead, he went back and started scoring. So he's got to be frustrated, dude, because you want to talk about Kyrie Irving, who everybody thinks is this great basketball player. You are with the best player in the NBA right now. Act like a man and play basketball. I don't know if you're perceiving it that way too, but I think something is going to happen on the court because that bullshit is not going to fly.
Rich, we've seen it too many times. Kyrie in Cleveland, Kyrie in Boston, Kyrie in Brooklyn, now Kyrie in Dallas. I mean,
but I think the difference is Luka's not Kevin Durant's not Luka. I mean, Luka I think has more of an edge than a lot of these guys. Like I think you're going to see that Slavic anger come out if he misses the playoffs again.
Yeah. Now, I was watching the other night. I got the NBA League Pass. So when you watch it, you get like what the arena feel before the game, and they're showing like the players before the game, before they come out, they're just dancing around in this like lobby with fans. So there was every player on the Dallas Mavericks in that having fun except one guy. Kyrie wasn't there.
Yeah,
but he started the game nonetheless. But and the announcer goes, "Here's your Dallas Mavericks," and there's no Kyrie coming out either. It's like it's just amazing.
You know, you put this guy wants to go down in history as like one of the greats. I mean, you put him on these teams and he's just a headache. He's just a weird guy, I guess. I don't know, but I'm waiting for that. I'm waiting for this altercation to happen because I am watching Dallas because I really do like watching him play, man. And I do check in on Denver too because I love Jokic. You know, and it's I want to see if I could say this without sounding just I don't know. Do you think that there's something going on right now in the NBA? Now, think of like the greatest NBA players. Like you could pull out Bird, you could pull out, let's call them, the best players in the NBA ever were all black players, right? All of them, which is, that's the sport that, a lot of black people are really good at it. Okay. Now you got Jokic and you got Luka coming into the league now. Okay. I would think for me, if I was around a bunch of guys who we've dominated this sport for how many years, we're top athletes in our sport, and we see people like Kyrie, and we see people like Harden, and we see people like Embiid, and we're like, listen, guys, what's going on here, bro? We got two guys, wherever they're from, guys killing us right now, killing us. And what's going on? So there's got to be some kind of pride to these players that carried this game for so long to have these two guys in the league right now that are saying, this isn't your game anymore. This is our game now. This is a European game now. This is a tough man's game where flash means nothing. It's like, you know what? Jokic, I'm 7 feet tall, but you know what? I'll dribble past you like I'm Allen Iverson. I'm a 6-foot point guard. You know what I mean? Oh, I'm Luka. I'm going to dribble up, but you know what, though? I'm going to step back like Jordan used to do and drain a 90-foot three just because I know exactly where I am at the court at all times. So I don't know if, Something's, these guys are playing so good, man. And look at Porzingis. Look, Porzingis isn't those two, but I'm a Celtics fan, dude. The guy's averaging 20 points and 7 rebounds and 4 assists, and he's playing 31 minutes. This is not the guy that was drafted by the Knicks.
You got a couple of guys. You got Nurkic too with the Suns. I think he's on now. So yeah, and you got Danny Agvia on Washington from Israel. So yeah, it is a world game now, Rich. You got to admit it's a world game now, basketball, right?
Yeah, it is. And it's getting more exciting too. I got to say it is getting more exciting because the whole play-in thing for me, it just that loses me, man. You just have put your game out there and make it your game. It's a pure game. You don't got to add no pomp and circumstances to it. You got LeBron James in the league who's selling millions of jerseys and tickets. You got all these players. What do you need more for? What do you need another jersey for? What do you need to give LeBron a championship for in a play-in tournament? This is the NBA regular season. It's 82 games.
Yeah,
it's it.
Look at the Miami Heat last year, Rich. They played in the play-in tournament, and what did they do? They went to the NBA Finals against Denver. Of course, we know what happened in that. But yeah, the playoff game, extra playoffs, more money, more revenue, and stuff. It makes it like 11 teams in each conference make the playoffs, I guess. My Nets aren't going to make the playoffs. They lost to Memphis. They lost to Detroit this week. After looking pretty good against Atlanta, they won 2 games. But look at Ben Simmons, Rich. Ben Simmons is done for the season, right? The guy played 59 games in his Nets career. His career is probably over with the Nets, but 59 games in 3 seasons, it's ridiculous. It doesn't – and you know how much money he made per game with his contract? I mean, it's crazy. And even this year, he was only playing like 18 minutes a game. It was ridiculous. Every night he got hurt.
Now – You're an NBA basketball player. You do it for your career. Are you faking injury? Probably not. But it just means maybe that you're not practicing hard enough. Maybe you're not maybe you're not doing the right stuff to keep your body, tone, shape. I don't know. Maybe you're doing something lazy stuff on your own, or maybe you're just accident prone. Remember Greg Ogden? Greg Ogden. Odin.
Yeah.
Odin. Remember him? The guy was coming out of the league like he was going to be the greatest thing since Michael Jordan. He goes to Portland, I think, blows out his knee, and he's done. It's hard, man. Some of these guys, they're so big. You know what I mean? They're so big and they're so powerful, maybe to a fault. You know what I mean? Because how you carrying around like 6'8" of a frame? That's got to be a lot of weight to carry around, man, and run around like these guys do.
Yeah, how about Shaq? He carried around a lot on that frame, right?
Yeah, but he did it at a high level for 20 years, dude. So what's you know what? Now going off on a tangent again. What's the difference? These guys were tougher.
Yep.
Shaq's not sitting down. You know what I mean? He's not sitting down in the middle of the season.
Rich, these guys are playing 42 minutes back-to-back games, basically.
You're gonna tell me that Shaquille O'Neal is gonna go up and tell the coach that he's tired, he needs to sit down for a couple of minutes? Oh, you know what, coach? I've scored too many points. I need to sit down for a little while. I got the sniffles. I can't play against.
Coaches don't run it anymore. That's the problem. It's the analytics department that runs these teams now. It's crazy.
Yeah, and we see how analytics worked or didn't work for the Detroit Lions this year. But
we see it. You see it everything with analytics. It doesn't work, because it takes away the skill of the game. The analytics.
That's what I'm worried about. That's what I'm worried about with my baseball team this year, man. I'm worried about this guy coming from your organization and ruining it. With the that because he's going to. That's the school he comes from. He comes from the analytics school, and that's what's going to happen.
That's the thing, and I saw the Yankees hired Joe Girardi to be in the yes booth. So one only wonders if Joe Girardi will come back if Aaron Boone gets off to a bad start. So it seems like Girardi's like waiting in the wings.
Joe Girardi's going to murder the Yankees if he's the announcer. Not in a nice way, I think, but he's going to murder the Yankees.
Yeah, and
I think so.
You know what though? I think George wouldn't like that, but I think it's a different Yankees team now where, you know what? Maybe he scrutinizes Cashman, Girardi, I mean, yes, is paying him to be in the booth. So, like Michael Kay is so Yankee, he'll not say nothing bad about the Yankees, Michael Kay, That's what you do. You need somebody in the booth to give the truth of how the game's going.
Hey, I know I use them as an example all the time, but that's why Keith and Ron Darling are the best. It's because they are very, very critical and very outspoken when they see something that they don't like.
Well, that's the thing. And for years, when George was there, you couldn't really say anything bad about the Yankees. Don Mattingly can go 0 for 5 one day. He can go 0 for 20 or something like that. Oh, he's great. He's great. But that was the way back then. So, maybe Girardi will come in and maybe it'll be a ratings booster with Girardi in the booth, Rich.
Yeah, maybe. I think Girardi got the shaft, though. I think. I mean, he's good. Girardi was a good coach, dude. I didn't see anything wrong with him. He was a good coach.
He got the shaft in Philadelphia too, Rich.
He did. But you know why though? Because he's the old school mentality. Don't tell me what to do.
Hey, he's honest. That's the problem. Yeah. They don't want that anymore.
He don't want to be told. He doesn't want to be told by some pencil pushing geek that so and so can't play because it's Thursday night and it was a cloudy day. But the nighttime is nice, but he usually doesn't do good when it's cloudy in the afternoon. He doesn't want to hear
he's
that.
undefeated in domes. He's got a 1-0 record in his career in domes. All of a sudden, he's like the best pitcher in the dome, right? One game he pitched in the dome, and he pitched a 2-hit shutout, and all of a sudden, he's the guy that pitches indoors now forever. But I don't know.
The Mets are going to be playing Game 7 of the World Series, and it was going to be a lunar eclipse the night before, so therefore Edwin Diaz can't close out the game.
Actually,
statistically, when there's a lunar eclipse, he loses.
Actually, you spoke about the eclipse, Rich. It's really cool. The eclipse is going to come from I guess it come from Buffalo right down the Great Lake area. So the Cleveland Guardians opening day, the fans that are in the stands are going to actually see that eclipse. That's pretty cool.
It is kind of cool, actually, the way the path that it's taking and the people that are going to actually see it. And all these conspiracy theorists are going back to an old United States map. What they want the United States to look like, and it's the direct path of the eclipse that's coming through, with New York seceding this way and California go. Oh, come on, guys!
All right, these are the tinfoil hat people, right?
Yeah, flat Earth people.
Yeah, flat Earth people, exactly. And nobody's been on the moon.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, exactly. I can't talk about that. Whatchamacallit? But yeah, so the eclipse is going to go right through Cleveland, and I think the game starts like 5:00 that day. But they're letting fans in early, so they have to. So that's pretty cool. I would definitely like to do that. That's pretty neat. But actually, it's not going to come through here. I think if you're in Plattsburgh, it's going to come through. West. Yeah, north of us and to the west, basically. But yeah, that's pretty cool. I think it's going to be another 400 years to see another one. So somebody else will be doing this podcast in 400 years. Rich, we'll pass the baton down to them. But yeah. So, I see these people watching these spring training games, and I watched a spring training game. And I had a picture of me watching 2 games the other week because I wanted to see Marcus Stroman on one screen and I wanted to see Juan Soto on the other screen. So that's why I was watching the 2 games at once. But Juan Soto, hitting home runs. He's batting 400. He batted 500 last year in spring training. I mean, spring training is nothing, Rich. It means nothing to me.
You know what spring training does? It's like preseason football. There's only one good thing, and you'll probably attest to this, exactly what I'm going to say. The only real good thing about spring training baseball is if we both follow our teams very closely, right? Like, let's just say, for instance, a couple of years ago, this guy Pete Alonso is coming up. Holy shit, Pete Alonso, he's hitting bombs down. I want to see what this kid looks like in spring training, or whoever. Like, you want to see Volpe from last year, like the guys that are in the know with their teams. You're not going to sit there and watch 9 innings. But you're going to sit there if you want to see what you want to see, if the direction of your team is going the way. So I agree. Spring training baseball, if you're going crazy and crying about your team sucking right now, or this guy's not hitting home runs or not hitting, Lindor's batting 167 right now. Take it easy. Lindor's not going to bat 167. So let's take it easy with the spring training, and let's go into it, and let's have – I'm trying to go into baseball season this year with a little bit of a positive. Because last year I was going into the season with, this team is set. Look at our pitching, Scherzer, Verlander. Look at this. I'm trying to live in the mind of David Stern right now. I'm just trying, because I know a lot of people don't get it right now, but I'm trying to get it because I guess I have to. But I see what he's trying to do. But if Pete Alonso is not in those cards, that's going to make me really mad. But I do see what he's trying to do. I really do. I mean, he's got a young team, and the only thing that there's one thing. If you're a Mets fan, right? What are you going to do about this situation? Okay, listen to this situation. I'm going to head you right now. You're a Mets fan, all right?
Yep.
And you're handed this situation: Senga, Severino, Katana, McGill, Peterson on the 60-day DL is being replaced by Sean Manaea. That's a problem. Okay. Kodai Senga, he's good. I mean, he came close to winning a Cy Young, but what the Mets lineup could do well this year. You never know. But that pitching staff is abysmal. It's disgusting. And there's nobody in that rotation right there that I could say, hey, listen, you never know. Maybe Severino will have another go at it. Maybe he's mad at the Yankees. No, he's going to be Severino. He might pitch 2 good games this year, and the rest are going to be blowouts. The rest of the bullpen is going to be coming in the 4th inning. So the Severino thing, people are like, let's give him a chance. Whatever. No, he's going to pitch. He might even pitch. He might even pitch the second no-hitter in Mets history. But that'll be about it. You know what I mean? Like, what about a guy like him? Senga. That's what I'm saying. The pitching staff is in trouble right now.
Rich,
and
you got 2 guys out there. You got Blake Snell and you got Jordan Montgomery. I mean, why aren't these guys getting signed? I mean, I think the whole premise was if an ace went down like Senga, somebody would swoop in and sign one of these guys. I mean, it's going to be a little too late now. It's March 8th. I mean, the season starts in 2 weeks. There's no way these guys are going to get ready before May 1st now. That's
because Scott Boras needs to go. I'm sorry. Look, again, it's a capitalist world right now. Everybody wants the most money, but you're doing it at a detriment to your players. You're doing it at a detriment to the league. There's players right now that are not playing because their agent told them to hold out.
Yeah, I mean, the Yankees apparently offered Snell $150 million for 6 years. He's going to lose money, this guy. I mean, he's not going to get a contract like that right now.
I don't like personally. I'd rather have Jordan Montgomery, to be honest with you. I know I might sound crazy because hey, he's a 2-time Cy Young Award winner. Guys have pitched past 5 innings, and the Mets bullpen is not going to get those wins for Blake Snell. They're just not.
Right.
Blake Snell could pitch a gem going into the 5th inning, then you're going to hand it over to Mo, Larry, and Curley until we get to Edwin Diaz. You know what I mean? And Edwin Diaz won't come in because Mo, Larry, and Curley just let up 5 runs in 4 innings. So it's not going to work, man. It's just not. The pitching is not there. And Pete Alonso is he's going to want a contract next year. He's playing for a contract this year. Okay. I see Pete Alonso playing very well this year. He's going to hit a lot of, I'm telling you right now, he's going to lead the league in doubles, I think. And he might hit 50. He's going to hit 55 home runs. And he bat maybe 260. Okay. And but that's not going to mean anything when you're pitching to 8 runs, 9 runs. And, you can't hit, 3 grand slams in a game. Like Francisco Alvarez can't go up there and hit a grand slam every time he's up. You know what I mean? And it's a problem. And that's why I'm trying to come to the realization that it's going to be a hard season. It really is. This is why you expect the worst. And if they have a good season, maybe I get a little excited. But the Mets are going nowhere fast. And I'm going to have to go into the whole thinking of Stearns knows what he's doing. And he's getting the right guys. And they're young. And let's go at it. I'm a Met fan. I'm used to being shit on. You know what I mean? Used to being shit on.
So here's a scenario, though, Rich. Say like it's July 28th. The Mets are 10 games out of first. What do you think the Mets do? Do they trade Alonso, get some young players back, and then go out and sign Alonso in the offseason, bring him back? That's a good option too, right? Would Stearns do that?
If Alonso gets a little taste of hitting, I'm not saying he's going to go to the Yankees. But let's just say Alonso gets a little taste of hitting behind Aaron Judge. I mean, you think he's going to want to leave a lineup because he's going to go somewhere where he's going to be a big part of an offense. You know what I mean? But could you imagine Pete Alonso in a lineup like the Atlanta Braves or the Dodgers? I'm not saying those, but those type of lineups, he will be unstoppable. If you have to pitch around Aaron Judge and Juan Soto and you're pitching to Pete Alonso's getting straight up fastballs and hitting 70 home runs. So he says he's going to be loyal. He says he loves the Mets. He says it's okay that he doesn't have a contract. He's going to take care of it when he takes care of it. I have to believe him because I don't think Alonso is one of those guys that doesn't have a bad bone in his body. I think he's just one of those guys that everybody loves. He's fun at parties. He'll never screw you over, and he's a man of his word. But he has Boras as his guy. So I don't see Pete Alonso leaving. It's going to be like the Aaron Judge thing for Met fans next year. That's what I think it's going to be. And is he going to get a lot of money? He's going to get $300 million. And and I think that $300 million contract has to come with Steve Cohen saying, "Listen, Pete, we are going to try really hard to get Juan Soto. Whatever teams offer him, we're going to offer him $100 million more. We're going to try really hard. I promise you that." And that has to be a promise to Pete Alonso. Or, believe it or not, I'm going to say something really crazy, but make a run at Mike Trout. Mike Trout's unhappy right now. Mike Trout's like, what the hell? Mike Trout's been injured the last couple of years. He's missed about 40, 50 games. But you know what, though? When he comes back, he makes up those 40, 50 games in 2 weeks. He'll hit 50, he'll hit like 5 home runs in like 2 games.
Got like 400. Yeah.
Make a run and make a splash at some of these guys and make Pete Alonso happy because, again, you pick somebody up that's better than him. Listen, Juan Soto's a good hitter. He's a little suspect in the field. He's not like, like I said, but he's making Aaron Judge an MVP again next year.
Yeah.
That's what's going to happen. That's what Juan Soto's doing next year.
I mean, look
at we have nobody like that for Pete Alonso.
But look at last year with the Yankees, Rich. Judge got hurt. He hurt his toe. And what happened? There was an offensive the offense never showed up, basically. They brought in these like little lefty hitters, these cute guys, Calhoun, McKinney. These guys are great. They can hit left-handed, but they're just going to spray the ball around. They're not the power hitter. You got Verdugo in the lineup now. You got Grisham. You got Soto. You finally got that balanced lineup with the Yankees. The Yankees haven't had that balanced lineup since 2009, the last time they won the World Series. And the only 2 natural right-handers that year were Jeter and A-Rod. Everyone else was either a switch hitter or a lefty. So I think the Yankees finally woke up and said, hey, you know what? We need left-handed hitting in the Bronx. Maybe Soto has a great year. He loves the Bronx. Maybe he accepts the Steinbrenner's cash, whatever, Cashman's money, whatever, Steinbrenner. But yeah, if he goes to the Mets after 1 year, it's definitely a loss of a trade for the Yankees because they traded so much talent away. And we saw the talent that the Washington Nationals got for Soto. And a lot of these guys are like in the major leagues right now from this trade, including this guy, James Wood. I know Luke Voigt, I was going to say he's with the Mets now, but he was in that trade too. But this guy, James Wood, is batting like 467. He's like 20 years old, lefty hitter, stole a couple of bases, probably going to start the season in AAA. But I mean, the Nationals made out with a deal. The Padres will make out with the Yankee deal, and the Yankees will have nothing if they lose Soto. So I think they have to go all out and sign him next year because I just don't see him being here for 1 year, and the Yankees trading away so much talent to get him for 1 year.
I mean, I know he's cashing, he's untouchable. Does he get outright fired if Soto leaves next year?
Oh, you know what? It could be a possibility, Rich. I mean, they have to go all out. I mean, why not offer him a contract during the season? If he's hitting 40 home runs, why not approach him in August and say, hey, we want to give you a 13-year contract or something like that?
Yeah, that might be smart. But I also, he's not a Boras client, is he?
Yeah, he is. Yeah. That's the thing. You got Soto with Boros. You got Alonso with Boros. Crazy.
Yeah, but that's why Alonso's not going to negotiate during the season because Boras isn't going to. He's not going to negotiate during the season. He's in Tahiti for the baseball season.
And I think Manfred wants to change it because I think with the NBA, NHL, and the NFL, they have like that free agent frenzy. I mean, here we got free agents that are still big names that JD Martinez doesn't have a job yet. He's still out there.
Why is JD Martinez not batting 5th in the Mets lineup right now? I don't know.
It's crazy.
I don't know. Why is Jordan Montgomery on my number 2? And why is Davis not batting? I'm sorry, Davis. JD Martinez. Why is he not batting 5th? And why is Jordan Montgomery my number 2 pitcher?
And look at Chapman. Chapman got all that money from the Giants last weekend. Another Boros client. I mean, the Yankees didn't want Chapman. Chapman was going to be Josh Donaldson 2.0. Yankees wanted no part of him or anything. So it's just crazy how these guys are still out there. And the season actually starts on the 20th in South Korea, Dodgers and Padres. I guess we'll see Yamamoto. Oh, Yamamoto got lit up the other day. Did you see that?
Lit up.
And already did. What a waste of money. But once again,
I know.
Spring training.
I know. Sky is falling. But you know what, though? That over there in the Dodgers, they're under a lot of pressure, dude. Like they're under more pressure than any team in the major leagues. The Dodgers are under a lot of scrutiny this year.
Yep.
I mean, I've never seen a team built for if you don't win the World Series, everybody's fired.
Well, look, they won the World Series in '88. They won the World Series in the COVID year. You can't really call the COVID year a championship because they only played 60 games. So basically, they haven't won a World Series in like what 35 years. So the time is now, I guess.
No, and there's no Kirk Gibson in that lineup, dude.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Coming off the bench with like a broken hip, a broken finger. God, what memories that was, right?
Yeah, oh my God, that was amazing, amazing. And you know what? I'm looking at my I'm looking at the Mets lineup here. Why did we sign Joey Wendell? You probably didn't even know that because that's the only reason I know that because I'm a Mets fan.
Tampa. I knew they signed him from Tampa.
Now, the only reason why I know Joey Wendell is because we play, because you see Joey Wendell and he's like this guy, like he's this gritty little guy, like he plays
scrappy guy. Yep.
Why? Because I think that was dumb. I mean, maybe it's just he was out there and somebody felt bad for him. Where's he going to play? You got Beatty and Vientos third. I don't know. Maybe I don't know. Like right now, you're looking at Alonso at first, McNeil at second, Beatty at third. My boy and one of my all-time favorite athletes ever. You know that now, Francisco Lindor. Please don't go anywhere. Nimmo in left, Bader and Marte, and the future greatest catcher ever to put on shin guards, Francisco Alvarez, who is dude. Did you see what he did the other night?
I did see the highlight. Yeah, but
I hate when I'm so happy you didn't approach that with two Yankee fans I had the conversation with. Well, that second throw out was a little close. Shut up.
He threw out three guys, right? He threw out three guys and hit the home run, right? Yeah. No, I mean it was great, but yeah, getting back to Joey Wendell, the Yankees can use him because Peraza's got shoulder problems now. So the Yankees have been trying to get that that utility infielder. So maybe Joey Wendell winds up in the Bronx or something like that. But yeah, the Mets were signing guys just to make us. I don't know. We got to sign somebody, right?
Yeah, we got to sign somebody. Sean Manaea is my number 5.
He shaked off all his hair. You see that?
I did see that. Yes.
Yeah,
I did see that.
Yeah.
Do you think he's Jacob deGrom now?
Yeah, right.
I hope Jacob deGrom comes out opening day and he blows out his elbow.
Well, is he? I don't think he's pitching opening. He's still hurt, right?
I think he's out for half. I think he's going to miss.
I think half the season. Yeah, and Scherzer's hurt too now, right? He's out a little bit.
Yeah,
so.
Scherzer. You know what Scherzer said the other day?
No.
You know what Scherzer said about Francisco Alvarez?
Oh, geez.
Francisco Alvarez. He said Francisco Alvarez is one of the smartest catchers he's ever thrown to.
Wow.
And he has the potential to go. He's a potential Hall of Fame catcher.
Wow.
That's what he said about Francisco Alvarez. And Max Scherzer hates everybody. But he said that he saw something in that kid that he's like, barring injury, this kid is going to be one of the greatest catchers ever.
Wow.
I mean, just because how smart and quick he is. See that first throw out? How quick that release was?
He's got a gun. Yeah.
And he worships Benito Santiago. Benito Santiago's like, that's like his guy.
Wow.
And it's like, that guy, he should throw people off from his knees.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think you ever saw him play live though, right?
No, I'm saying like like you're listening to him like in
history,
right? He's a catcher, of course. He knows the history of baseball. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And if you know catchers, how do Benito Santiago rarely could hit the side of a barn, but he'll throw out 4 or 5 people per game.
Crazy, yeah, it's amazing, yeah. But yeah. So getting back to the Mets, how long is Singh out for? Is he out? Is there any timeline on him or?
I think he's going to miss his first 2 starts. I think.
Okay,
that's what I think. Which whatever. I mean, at the end of the day, it is what it is. And I'm saying it right now, the Mets will be lucky if they win 82 games this year. Unless they have, they're either going to win 82 games or they're going to shock the shit out of everybody and win 95 and make the playoffs. So it's not going to be like, oh, they're almost going to make it. No, they're either going to be shit or they're going to just shock the shit out of everybody and win 95 games. Well, you know what I mean?
I guess Las Vegas knows because they set up at 81.5 is the over-under.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
I'm pretty good. I think I might bet that under.
Yeah. Yankees are 94. It's like that's a little under on that one too. I don't see 94 wins in their books.
It's a little high.
It is high, right?
They're going to make the playoffs this year, but I think it's a little high.
Yeah, it's that new schedule, Rich. They really don't play any Eastern Division teams in September anymore. I just don't like that schedule now they have. I mean, the Yankees, they're playing like Pittsburgh in September. I think they don't play the Rays after July. It's just I hate this schedule. It's just it's crap, the schedule, the way they would do it now.
Yeah.
And for Mets too, the Mets probably don't play National League East teams in September either. They're probably done with the East by then.
All these sports, they're all coming down, I guess, to the almighty dollar and how many eyes are going to be on the TV and stuff like that. I don't know. But you know what, though? Baseball season is here, and it is our favorite time of the year.
Oh, no doubt about it. The warm weather comes, everything. Baseball brings a lot to us, a lot of happiness.
My son Aiden, you could set a watch to my son Aiden where he'll be like, Dad, I hate the Mets. They suck, this, that, and the other thing. 3 weeks before spring training starts, he's like, all right, let's go. We got this guy. We got that guy. What are we going to do? And he's pissed when they lost to the Cardinals in that first spring training game. I'm like, Aiden, you can't do this.
Yeah.
Aiden literally might be one of the biggest Met fans I know in the history of all my Met fans. He's one of the biggest Met fans I have just
Ben's got a Mets
created, I guess.
Page. Yeah, Ben's got the Mets meme page, and him too. They lost their first spring training game, and they're ready to throw in the towel for the season. It's like, relax. It's a marathon,
I know. I hear you.
Crazy. But it is a good time of the year. I love it. Football's all over. NCAA tournament starting soon, and then we transition right into baseball. So I can just see 80-degree days, and summertime. It's my favorite time of year. Actually, I love it.
Mine too. Mine too. It's absolutely unbelievable.
Yeah.
Look at this. I thought we were going to be on tonight for about 3 hours. We knocked this out in about an hour 45 tonight. Ian, there's not anything else you want to go over.
Do we want to do our all-time NBA team? Finish off with that?
Yes, absolutely. All right. So I called you this afternoon.
Yes.
And sometimes we talk about just doing stuff in the doldrums or whatever. But
sure.
I was just thinking, because we got to start talking basketball, and we did. But I was just thinking, like, if you could put your team together, you could put like a team of starting five, legit, like you can't put like, Kobe and Jordan on the same team because they play the same position. You know what I mean? It's like, so my whole thing was I was going to try and come up with a starting five with maybe an alternate or two that you think would play together very well. Like, in other words, you know what I mean? Like defense, offense. So I put a team together, and maybe, like I said, I don't know if you want to go first or you want me to go first. I don't care. It's up to you. But I'd like to hear yours because I don't know if you put any thought into it. Because I kind of threw that at you this afternoon. But
so
like for instance, let's go position by position.
How about point guard? Yeah, let's go point guard.
Start off with point guard. All right. As far as your point guard is, who would be your point guard?
I'll go with Magic Johnson.
Magic Johnson. Now, is Magic Johnson your point guard, or is Magic Johnson will he ever come out? Is he a point guard?
Well, no point guard in NBA history was more physical or mentally dominant than Magic Johnson was, Rich. He was 6'9", which is a little tall for a point guard, right? But it's just amazing the game that he played. And he also played center for Kareem Abdul-Jabbar in the playoffs that one year. He took over as center. Right. But, I think he was one of the most dominant players of the late 80s, early 90s, whatever. One of the best ever, and when you look at this NBA thing, Rich, like I said, there's different eras of NBA play too, where Magic Johnson might be the best point guard. Then you look at John Stockton might be the best point guard, or, somebody in today's game might be the best point guard. But, I just, James Harden might be the best point, but I just think Magic was the best of all time, basically.
See, like when you think about somebody like Magic Johnson, though, I think you're right. Like, I didn't pick Magic Johnson. I picked somebody else, but for a different reason. But if you want to think about just all around the greatest point guard ever, like if you take Magic Johnson and you put him in 1945, if you take Magic Johnson and you put him in 2024, he's still going to be Magic Johnson. You know what I mean? Yep. His game transcends through just decades, and like he could, you know what I mean? Like there's people that play the game now, like LeBron would not be able to play.
Yeah, you could say Isaiah Thomas too in that category, Rich.
Yes. All right, now my point guard, I picked John Stockton as my point guard for a reason that I'll explain in the next. I also, because if I'm picking my greatest team of all time, there's times when I might swap out John Stockton and put Allen Iverson. So I have John Stockton and Allen Iverson as my point guards.
Okay.
Now let's go to shooting guard next.
There's only one shooting guard, Rich.
There's only one shooting guard. 100%. Only one shooting guard.
Michael Jordan.
Yeah. And you want to throw Kobe on there, but he's sitting the bench.
Well, you could put Kobe as small as a forward too. You don't have to put him as So But
Yeah.
I just think Michael Jordan with the hardware, the rings that he won, the game that he played defense too, Rich.
Yeah. Now, that's the thing. Like now, why I chose John Stockton over like maybe you would say like Magic Johnson. I don't think Magic Johnson's game and Michael Jordan's game could coincide together. That's the only reason why I think that. Whereas I think, could you imagine? Karl Malone had 30,000 points. Now, Karl Malone was a good basketball player, but Karl Malone wasn't Michael Jordan. Could you imagine John Stockton? His only job is to feed Michael Jordan the basketball. You know what I mean? So, I mean, that's the reason why I do think he's a top 5 in history point guard. I do think that. But I think for my offense, I think John Stockton and Michael Jordan would do some.
Yep.
Small forward.
Yeah, well, here I'm going to put Kobe in a small forward. He did play small forward. So I thought, Kobe, just like Magic, Laker Magic, everything, just was an amazing player to watch on the court.
Right. And I'm going with Larry Bird.
Okay.
And I'm going with Larry Bird as my small forward for the toughness factor. And I want somebody shooting threes all day. Well, I want somebody.
Did you see that thing today? It was Larry Bird. I think Draymond Green has more 3-pointers than Larry Bird. Different era, Rich, though. I mean, guys are taking threes. How many guys are wide open on the wing nowadays? Where back then, nobody was taking threes, really. Threes are really rare back then.
I don't think it's comparable, to be honest with you, because again, it's a different game. I'm not saying taking anything away from Draymond Green. I'm not taking anything away from him, but it is a different game. Like, listen, not for nothing, he's played on a team that took the most 3-point shots in the history of basketball.
Yeah.
So did he? Yeah, that's fine, but Larry Bird's still better. I think Larry Bird's still better than Draymond Green.
Oh, of course, yeah, definitely.
But that's the reason why small forward. I think you could put LeBron there too at some points maybe. But nah, Larry Bird's my small forward. I just for a toughness factor in that team.
Yeah, I agree. Put LeBron there as well. But you got to give. I mean, as much as we make fun of LeBron, he really stuck around a long time, though, Rich. And stuff. So
I hate giving him accolades. I really do. But
exactly. I know.
I hate giving him accolades. Well, but he's listen. You know what? He's not on my team. Larry Bird's on my team. He's not on my team. My power forward. I got 2 power forwards here. My power forwards are going to probably surprise you, or maybe not, because you know how I feel about this guy. But Go ahead. Who are your power forwards?
I just have the one. I took Tim Duncan.
Did you? I got Tim Duncan. I got Tim Duncan. To be honest with you, with my offense sitting on the bench, I got Kevin Garnett.
Oh, okay.
I want Garnett and Bird on that. Yeah. Garnett and Bird on that court is no insane shit to those guys.
I see the jersey over your shoulder, Rich, the Kevin Garnett jersey. So I kind of gave it away. Yeah.
Listen, he's my second all-time favorite basketball player, right behind Jordan. I love Kevin Garnett, dude, and I always have. And even just after basketball, just the way he is and the way he talks, and you could just hear from just old interviews how he was just mad every single game, and he had that mentality, just like he didn't give a shit who's on the other side of the ball. If his mother was on the other side of the ball, he was smacking her. You know what I mean? So, and he did say that one time. If my mother was on the other side of the ball, I'd smack her. But I'm taking KG and Tim Duncan, one of the greatest in my eyes, probably top 5 ever. But I'm taking KG as my power forward and Tim Duncan.
Nice.
Center. Who's your center?
I think we got the same one. I'm betting we have the same one here.
I have 2.
Okay, I have Shaq.
Me too. I mean, I have Shaq. Putting Shaq together with those guys, but could you imagine Jokic playing on the team? Could you imagine Jokic playing on the same court as Bird? I mean, because you know why? Because the reason why when I was thinking about this is why I picked a guy like Jokic and why I picked a guy like KG, like guys that aren't the best ever, but I think they do stuff. If Jokic was playing with Jordan and Bird, he'd have 0 points, 40 rebounds, and 40 assists. I think that's what Jokic would do. He'd probably have no points, but he'd have like combined 80 with rebounds and assists. I mean, the guy just does stuff that a lot of guys. He's another guy. I think that you take Jokic and you put Jokic in 1945, and you take today's game. Jokic is the same player in 1945 as he is in 2024.
Right.
I think the guy does so much stuff. Same as Luka. I mean, both of those guys, man. It's like they just do stuff so well. That's interesting. All right.
I also give honorable mention at the center position to Bill Russell and Wilt Chamberlain too. So
yeah, because that's when the big man mattered. You know what I mean? But you went with Shaq for the same reason I did.
Yeah,
he was so dominating.
What about David Robertson too? David Robertson was a pretty good center.
Yeah, but when you think about what a center is supposed to do, Shaq just epitomizes what a center is supposed to do.
Those Spurs teams that won the championships, though, Rich, very, very underrated, I guess, because they played in San Antonio. You didn't really hear too much of them and stuff like that, but they were some really good teams down there in Texas.
Well, I mean, they won they win 4 championships?
4 or 5, yeah. Crazy, right?
I mean, you get David, you got an aging, not an aging David Robinson, but an older David Robinson. Then you get Tim Duncan as a rookie. I mean, come on. It's not much better than that.
Yeah, no, not at all, right?
Yeah, Tim, and I think David Robinson goes underrated too for the same reason Tim Duncan does, because they were quiet guys. They didn't say nothing.
Yeah, Tony Parker. They had some pretty good teams. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that's interesting. So Stockton, Jordan, Bird, KG, and Jokic. I mean, and Shaq. I'm sorry, Shaq. That's interesting. I think we should do this one night with our baseball teams too. And
yeah, definitely, yeah. Do a full 9 and a pitching staff.
We'll do a full. How about next podcast? We'll start taking some notes. Next podcast, we do our all-time baseball team, and again. It doesn't have to be Mickey Mantles at every position.
Okay.
You have to be players who we think are going to contribute to our everyday team.
Okay. Here's what we do, Rich. Ready? We do 9 players. We do a DH. We do 5 starting pitchers, 1 closer, and a manager. How's that?
Absolutely. Perfect. Yeah. I'll start working on it tonight.
Homework assignment right now. Homework assignment. Yeah.
Exactly. All right, dude. Well, look, we're coming in just under 2 hours. Anything else you want to talk about?
No, I think the next time we'll be doing the our championship Saturday broadcast and stuff.
I can't wait for that, dude.
Save your voice.
I'm going to bring a lot of energy for that, dude. I'm going to try and get some interviews. So we're doing the interviews Friday night, right?
Yeah, kids interviews Friday night, and I guess we're going to do a pregame show at center court. You and I will interview Jay, and then he'll take over. We'll go back in our broadcast booth, and then then the games begin.
Just tell Jay to give us the microphone. Jay, if you're listening, give us the microphone. We'll take it over. We'll take over. You just go. You go schmooze. You go talk to everybody, and just give me and EDUBBS the microphone.
I heard Jay saying that he might make the championship. So if his team wins tomorrow, he will be in the championship with a 2-4 record on the season.
What time is the game?
He plays at 4:00 tomorrow.
If I'm around, maybe I'll stop by. All righty. Well, like I said, it's under 2 hours. It's after 10 o'clock. It's Friday night. I'm a little tired to believe it.
Oh yeah, we turn our clocks ahead too tomorrow night. Don't forget to turn the clock ahead. Yeah.
All righty. Well, I've been trying to track you down for the last 2 weeks, and we finally got together to do the MURF and EDUBBS show. I appreciate that, buddy.
No problem. And it was a great show as always. And I'm just thinking about my homework assignment now, Rich. It's we got our work cut out for us, basically. Yeah.
This is going to be fun, and I really do. I think I am going to start doing it tonight. I think I'm putting Francisco Alvarez at catcher. I'm just kidding.
I'm going to piss off a lot of people. I'm going to put a Yankee in each position. Just kidding.
Yeah, exactly.
Just kidding.
I could try and give you an all Mets team, but that'll be a debacle. I can't give you all Mets in every position.
Well, give me Ed Kranepool, give me Felix Mian, give me Doug Flynn, Joel Youngblood. Come on, Dave Kingman. You got it, man. Yeah,
Dave Kingman, the reason why I became a Mets fan.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right.
I know that story.
Kingman played for the Yankees, right? He played for the Yankees.
Oh, yeah, Dave Kingman was all over the place.
He was playing for the Yankees for a week, and then he got traded to the Angels or something like that.
I didn't know that, but you told me that when I told you my Dave Kingman story about why I'm a Mets fan. But
it's crazy. In '77, he played for 4 teams. I think it was the Mets, Angels, Giants, Yankees, something like that.
He definitely started off in the Mets in '77 because he was on the Mets in '76. Because I told you '76 is when I saw him hit that home run.
Yeah. And the Yankees picked him up for the playoff run, but I guess back then, if you picked him up after September 1st, they don't play in some wacky rule back then and stuff like that. But yeah, he did wear Yankee pinstripes. As a lot of guys who wore we got to do a show on that too. Guys who wore Yankees and Mets uniforms. A lot of them have.
That's a good one too.
Yeah,
that's a good one too.
Yep.
I think if you have some time during the week, or we have time during the week, we should just do a show dedicated to the 9 players to every position. I think we should do just do a show. Take about a half hour, maybe 40 minutes, and we'll do our baseball.
Well, knowing us, Rich, 9 players, 5 pitchers, reliever, DH, more than a half hour, probably 2 hours.
That's true. That's true. When I tell you that Barry Bonds is playing every position, that might go pretty quick. Barry Bonds is in my outfield without a doubt. I don't give a shit what any of you steroid jerks say. Barry Bonds is starting in right field for me.
3 guys have done that, played every position in one game. So yeah, maybe he could have done it too. But yeah, I think we gave away our outfielder, one of our outfielders. So
I know he's in your. I think his uncle's going to be there too.
Oh geez, please, yeah. Although we never saw him play, so
true. You know what? That's a good point. That is it. You know what, E? That's a very good point. It has to be people that we saw play.
Well, you think so, Rich? Think so?
19. Let's think 19. I know you want to put Mantle on there, so let's put let's go from 1960.
Okay.
How's that sound? Is that okay?
Yeah.
1960.
And you know what?
Because
I might not put Mantle on there, Rich. I might not put Mantle on there.
No, I'm just saying, because let's go. How about 1960 is out? They would have to have been playing in the year 1960.
Okay.
So in other words, if he's in his 4th or 5th year in 1960, he's on the roster.
Perfect.
All right. So is that a good cutoff point for you?
That's good. Yeah. Perfect.
Like, no Babe Ruth, obviously, right? Yeah, we'll go with people. You know what it is? Because I figured 1960, we really started watching baseball in the 70s. So we're doing research about older players at that point. So we know the players.
1960 was the expansion era. So more teams came to the league and stuff in 1960. So yeah, that's fine. That's fine. We'll go back 65 years basically.
Yeah, and there's some pretty good players that have walked through the doors of Major League Baseball stadiums.
Yeah.
All righty. Like I said, always a pleasure.
Yes, sir.
And, I will give you a call. I'll talk to you probably tomorrow or the next day, and we'll talk about this baseball thing. So
sounds good. This is a great homework assignment. I'm gonna get a little rest and think about it while I go to sleep.
All right, Vice President of MURF and EDUBBS operations. You better get on that.
You got it.
The CEO said so. All righty. Like I said, always a pleasure, dude. Get some sleep, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.
Yeah, take care, Rich. I'll look for shorts. You're gonna make shorts of these things too, right? You're gonna put them out.
Yes, I am.
Perfect. Great, excellent.
I said some stuff specifically to get kind of like words from you, so you'll see.
Oh boy!
I said some certain phrases because I wanted to get a reaction out of you. So you're gonna see a short about you. So.
Oh boy, looking forward to it.
All righty, you listen to the MURF and EDUBBS show. Thank you for listening, and we will talk to you guys later.
Okay, Rich. Take care, buddy. Have a good night.
You too, E. Later.
Okay, bye.